everybody, and welcome to the United Stand. We're live. We're absolutely live, and it is Manchester United versus Partizan in Partizan. And the team news has come out, and we know what that team news is. And yeah, look, we're up and running. We're up and running. I will change the graphics. We've been caught short again. This should not have happened again. Ollie, Garner and Williams start, which I think is really exciting. Very interesting. I was just talking to somebody there about how the team news has come out. The formation is a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2 again, which, look, I don't want to be negative about it because at the end of the day, we've not even kicked a ball yet. He is playing some exciting young players, which, you know, I've got to applaud that. Of course I have. But I do sort of, look, I'm going to put it out there now because if it goes wrong, I don't want to be saying, well, I was happy with it. I just feel like we're stumbling on, it really does remind me of a manager who's scraping the barrel, to be honest, tactically. We've never played this way under Ollie. He did it against Liverpool because we needed an extra defender, and now suddenly he's doing it away to Partizan Belgrade, who are not that good. So I mean, look, maybe it will work. I tell you what, if this works, he should change his name from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to Harry Houdini, because it will be a magician act. He has never, ever, ever hinted that he was going to play 3-5-2 or 5-3-2. And suddenly he starts doing it. And you know what? It could be his rescue. It could be his rescue. But what I would say is, for those people who are not sure about Solskjaer, you're probably quite right, because this is just desperation. It might work. And you know, again, I will say this. I hope it does work. But it's not what his plan was to get the job at all. It's a brand new formation that's we've never seen before. And it might well work. It worked very well against Liverpool in the first half. But I absolutely have got to say that I don't really think that this is the formation going forward. You can't play this formation week in, week out. We can't be doing it against Norwich and Bournemouth and everything like that. It still is way, way too defensive. I mean, you've got three centre-backs, Phil Jones, Marcus Rojo and Harry Maguire. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka's not really that good going forward. Excited to see Williams. Really, really excited to see Garner playing. And I think that with regards to, look, I knew Mata was going to play. This is the problem with keeping Juan Mata at the club. He's got to play at some point. You can't just not play Mata when he's on 140 grand a week. So we knew Mata would play. Lingard comes straight back into the team. I've got to say, I've got to be honest about you. I don't agree with that. You've got Garner and Williams playing, but you've got Gomez and Chong back in England, and then you've got Lingard, who has been consistently crap for 8 months, comes straight back into the team like he's bloody Jesse James. Like, he's no cowboy. He is a cowboy. I've got bloody spur marks on my piano, but he's not. I don't think he should have come straight back into the team. He's not this great big hope. I mean, I think we picked Lingard in the hope that he scores. I'll guarantee you at some point Jesse Lingard will score and have a good game, and everyone will say he's back, and they'll totally ignore the last 18 months. I would have played Gomez today. I would have done, but he's not even there. Martial had to start. I think that's a real positive, definitely. But for me, the big excitement comes in the fact that you've got Williams, who I really do like him at left back. Brandon Williams also almost reminds me of a young Luke Shaw, because I remember Luke Shaw when he was at Southampton, and he's got similar traits. He is physically strong, he's quick, he likes to get forward. So I think in Brandon Williams, he could be find of the season, really, because we do need a left back competition for Luke Shaw. And Garner, a lot of people will be very excited about this, quite rightly so. His record in lower league football, not in lower league, in the youth setup has been absolutely superb. He's only just 18 years of age, and he's playing in the midfield for Manchester United with another young midfielder in Scott McTominay. So look, I'm very excited to see how they're going to get on tonight. I went with what did I go with? I went with a draw, didn't I? So I'll stick with that. Hi Mark, do you think perhaps Ollie actually does have a plan but doesn't sell himself well in front of the media? Is he a manager that can revive us, says Cameron Bauer? I want him to revive us, Cameron. I want him to revive us. But look, my job here is, and I can see people saying, oh, Mark's being negative again. And then straight after I can see somebody saying, Mark, you're talking crap, you're being too positive. I can't win, but I've been doing this for 4 years and I accept that. Some people will listen, some people will be negative, some people will be positive. That's just the way it goes. What I will always try and do is will be honest and try and get both sides. And there's a lot of people in the live comments saying Ollie's not got a clue what he's doing. He's thrashing around like a dead fish. Well, they don't thrash around, but a dying fish. Other people are saying, yes, this is the formation to go with. He's picking the youth. This is what the vision we want to see. And I can agree with both of those things. All I've ever said is, I can't be doing with this long-term vision that's not happening now. We need to see it happening now. And maybe today, maybe we are seeing that. Maybe he is going to go with this sort of 3-5-2, 5-3-2 when we're defending formation. Maybe that's his vision. There's certainly youth in there, so we can't moan about that. They are positives. They are positives. If I'm catering for the people who are already out, I would say, well, you know what? As I said at the start, where's this formation come from? This is not a formation we have seen. He never used it last season. Never. It was 4-3-3. He did 4-2. He did a diamond midfield with 2 up front. He has never done a back 3 or a back 5. He's never done that until Liverpool. And now suddenly he's doing it in the very next game. So it's a brand new formation and it's a brand new vision. So my personal feeling is, well, let's just see where it goes, because I've been going on and on about a vision. I've been going on about what's our best formation, what's our philosophy. And if this is the road he's going down, fine. At least we can see something, because I can't stand the 4-2-3-1. It's boring and it's negative. Let's see how this works. What I would say is, why is it taken till 10 games into a Premier League season to go down this route? If this was the plan in the summer, he would have done it in the summer. He's not done it in the summer because it wasn't the plan in the summer. So to me, I think he is scraping the barrel a bit. I think it is desperation time. But just because it's desperation time doesn't mean it won't work and get him out of hole. Looking at the formation, don't you think we are playing way too centrally, says Red Baron. But you know what, Red Baron? We don't really, in fairness, have a lot of width. Dan James is the only real wide player we've got. Martial doesn't want to play wide anymore. Lingard doesn't want to play wide anymore. Rashford doesn't want to play wide anymore. Mata can't play wide. Dan James is the only wide player we've got, and Tahith Chong. So, ignoring the width, as much as I love Manchester United to be about the width, I think, in some ways it might be logical. Ollie switching to 5-3-2 shows he has no set plan, says Nathan Brown. I'd sort of agree with that. I think it is a little bit desperation. Dipanshaw Kumar said, but it doesn't mean it can't work. There are teams out there that do use this formation. I just think it's odd how we're doing it a quarter of the way into the season, but it doesn't mean it won't work. Dipanshu Kumar says this formation works against Liverpool because you need an extra man against their press, because you always have lofted pass to any of the fullbacks to get out your half. Well, it's going to be interesting to see, and I would expect you to see this formation against Norwich at the weekend as well. It looks like he's going all in with this, so let's see how it goes. Garner and Williams are not on the graphic there, so we're 2 players down. So Garner's playing in the midfield and Brandon Williams is playing at left back. That's why there's a couple of gaps in there, which we will sort out for you soon. Since when does Rashford not want to play on the wing? I'm sure he feels more confident there, as when he plays at left wing he seems to play with more confidence. Jonah Walpert. Since when were you his best mate, Jonah? It's an observation. I think that's basically how fan content works. It's observation. Rashford will play anywhere for Manchester United. That's the attitude he's got. But I think it's very obvious that he wants to play down the middle. And that's what I'm saying. The only out-and-out winger we have who wants to play out on the wing is Dan James. With regards to the bench, you've got Grant on the bench, Lindelof on the bench, Rashford, of course, on the bench, Pereira, Fred, James and Greenwood. It's quite an experienced bench, really. On the subject of Greenwood, I'll be honest, I wanted Greenwood to start today. I expected Greenwood to start today. And Greenwood hasn't started today, so that was a little bit of a surprise. I definitely thought we were going to see him starting. In fact, we've just had a super chat from Jay Singh saying Greenwood, so Greenwood's on the bench. That's a little bit disappointing, but he's playing. The thing is, it's a bit disappointing not to see. It's a little. I thought I had a message about the match then. It's a little bit disappointing about why Chong's not playing, Gomez isn't playing, they're not even there, and Greenwood. But on the other hand, you've got to say, can you moan about the youth too much when you've got Garner starting his first ever United game and Brandon Williams is starting? So you can't moan too much about the youth because we have got youth starting. Aliapan says, this is not a plan Ollie has. He doesn't understand it. This worked against Liverpool because they are a high-pressing team playing against a low-block team. It will be a disaster and won't offer width. I think so. Well, we'll probably turn it into a 3-5-2, won't we, I think? I think that's what we'll probably do. So, look, the proof will be in the pudding. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. No excuse for playing Lingard over Greenwood, says Daniel. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would agree with that. I don't really understand why Jesse Lingard walked straight back into the team, but we've seen it time and time again. Lingy, isn't it? Truly Genius says, you do come across as a bit negative, mate, but there are not many positives coming out of the club apart from a few youngsters, so what do people expect? You know what, I spoke to somebody about this on Twitter today, and I think that all I would say is, if you think you can do any better, start a channel up yourself and do it yourself and see if you can say positive 24/7. That's basically what MUTV's job is. A fan channel should not be a watered down version of MUTV. A fan channel should be something that takes into account all opinions. And I said this to somebody on Twitter today. They said, "Oh, you're being dead negative." I said, "Well, it's my Twitter feed. I'll do what I want on it for a start. And secondly, this season has been a terrible, terrible season. You know, I don't think people really grasp how crap you've got to be to have 10 points after 9 games. It is it's absolutely terrible. So, excuse me if you think I'm being negative, because I'm absolutely appalled by the situation at Manchester United. And that's because I love the club and I want it to do well. If we start to see positive results and a positive way of playing, I'll be at the front of the queue saying, yes, now I see a vision. But at the moment, I am not going to sit back and say everything's great just because Ed Woodward and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer say so. It is not great. It is not great. And we need to see a vision, and I hope we see something tonight. Will Pogba be out on Sunday? I pray that McTominay doesn't get injured. It would be just United if that happens, says Jordan Such. Well, we know, Jordan, that we're very, 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 very threadbare in the midfield. What I'm happy to see is Rashford, Dan James, Fred on the bench, because they will be fresh on Sunday now. So it's good that he's been able to manoeuvre the team, and I think the only way he could do that was by playing Garner, so I'm glad he's done that. Lee Geldart says, so we loan out Smalling, then decide we're playing 3 centre-backs, forcing us to use Rojo and Jones, making it up as we go along. It feels amateur. I think you're absolutely spot on, Lee. Absolutely spot on. And you know what? Lee, if you started a channel or you started a Twitter account talking about tactics, I'll follow you, mate, because I'd never even thought about that. Nobody else has spoken about that. You know, to me, I think the formation feels like it's scraping the barrel, like he's changing his plans during the season. But if you don't think that, I think Lee has just exposed that he absolutely is, because we're playing 3 centre-backs and we let our 3rd best centre-back or 4th best centre-back go on loan to Roma. Like, you know, your 3 best centre-backs are Twansebi, Lindelof and Maguire, but if you're going to play in games like the Europa League, then Smalling would be invaluable. But we loaned him out because this was never the plan. What a comment. This was never the plan, to play 3-5-2. Never. He's changed it 10 games into the season, because whatever his plan was has failed. And that's an acceptance by Solskjaer, which no ex-player will say it, no media outlet will say it, but we will say it as fans. I hope it really works. I really hope it's going to work. But let's call a spade a spade. He has failed, and he's now having to change to plan B, because his plan A was not good enough, was it? Phil Jones is back, says RTL. Yeah, you know what? I wasn't expecting to be doing much moaning about our defending this season. Not with Lindelof and Twansebi and Maguire. But we've got 2 clowns playing today. Love the channel, mate. Keep it up. Come on, United, says Jay Patterson. I'm going for a score draw today. What's happened to Bailly? It amazes me, Bob Kahn, how many people ask what's happened to Bailly or Twansebi. And I'm not disrespecting you. I'm just surprised that nobody actually knows that they're on long-term injuries. Angel Gomez, where is he? Says Christopher Manuel. He's probably sat watching this show. He's not there. He's not even in Belgrade. What I want to say, though, this is not a positive. This is why we love Manchester United. 61 years ago, the Busby Babes played their very last game together on this very pitch in Belgrade. So the fact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is playing Williams, is playing Garner, is a nice... I mean, it can't, you know, it's a nice tribute to that amazing football team that we lost 61 years ago. And I want Manchester United to put a show on tonight, because this is what our club is all about. So, you know, there is that in the back of fans' minds who know that story, and every fan should know that story. The thing is that Smalling is the only defender that had enough ambition to get a loan. Jones and Rojo chose to stay and be bench warmers. No ambition, says Carlos Solis. Fair point. Phil Jones is going to score a hat-trick of own goals, says Sean Ryan. Well, Flex is over there in Belgrade, and he's been speaking to a lot of Serbians, and they think that Manchester United are favourites to win and will win. So they don't seem to think Partizan are that good. So we'll see. Mata and Lingy can't play together in this system, says Swapnil Baran. I mean, you've got to look at the team and go, where does the creativity come from as well? Because I think there's two weaknesses in that defence straight away. Jones and Rojo worry me. I think in the midfield, excited to see how Garner and McTominay do. Not really a big fan of Lingard or Mata, so they've got to have good games. And then it's about whether Martial can get the service again, isn't he? I mean, it's going to be an interesting game from United. Part of me thinks we might see a really good performance today. At some point, United are going to win a game. You don't lose forever. You don't lose and draw forever. Our record, I mean, I don't even want anybody to tell me, but when was the last time we won? When was the last time we won? I know we won on penalties against Rochdale. It feels like forever. I know it's not. Was it Leicester? But actually, our win ratio over the last 20 games is not that good, is it? So at some point, we're going to win. You can't just keep drawing and losing. So we will win, and maybe tonight will be the night. Joe Holdway says, Mark, have you thought it's the mentality of Chong and Gomez why they are not there? Might not be ready for such a harsh environment. Just an idea. Yes, and interestingly enough, Flex actually was granted, if you've not watched the road trip, he's actually in the ground on that. And he was granted permission to film in there by the ultras, by the fans, who pretty much run the club, he was saying. And they're meant to be the ones who might be, hostile tonight. There is some concerns about maybe a bit of racist element, but hopefully that won't be the case. But of course, I did say this last night in the preview, Gomez and Chong, they are both young black men, and maybe that is a bit of a concern. I mean, you look at the young lads that are playing tonight, Garner and Brandon Williams, they're both white. Of course, there are black players on the pitch, Jesse Lingard, Martial, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but they're experienced pros, I suppose. Maybe Solskjaer chose not to take young lads over there for that reason. I don't know. It does seem a little bit odd that you wouldn't take Gomez and Chong, but there we go. Carl Rayner says, Mark, I'm concerned Lindelof is too weak as a centre-back and he doesn't make up for it with speed. I feel Axel may put him out soon. Well, he's not playing tonight, Carl, and I think Twansibi, is nearly in the first team now, isn't he? If he hadn't got that injury against Liverpool, he was going to play. Red Baron, let's remember it isn't just racism in the Eastern European countries, it's a society problem that increased across the world. See Evra's interview with Carragher, good point. And Jordan Such says, Mark, you have every right to feel negative. If Norwich win on Sunday, they go level on points with us after 10 games. That is how crap it is right now, no matter what the future brings. And look, we've not even kicked this game off. It's a significant game for United because it's the last place that the Busby Babes played. I've got no issue with people who want to be positive. We all want to be positive, but I think some realisation that we are in a difficult situation is only fair. It is only fair. We are in a situation that is somewhat frustrating, and I totally agree that the formation is a little bit of a concern, but I think let's just wait and see. I think we've got 4 away games coming up with Manchester United now. Obviously tonight's a tough game. Norwich at the weekend could be tough, could be easy. Villa won there 4-1. Then we've got Chelsea away, which at this point, and obviously when you get to the kick-off, it always is a little bit different. But I think with the way not Chelsea are playing at the moment, I think they'll wipe the floor with us at Stamford Bridge, and I think most people will think that. And then we've got Bournemouth on the Saturday, so we've got 4 away games. But I've got a funny feeling we're going to win both the Premier League games. I don't know why, and I know it's very early to be saying that, but I just have a funny feeling that we will. I mean, we've wasted a lot of points. We have wasted a lot of points, and I think we all know that. But as I said, we can't lose forever. We're not, and that's not going to happen. We will not be losing forever. So at some point, we're going to start winning games. It's whether we can consistently win games is the key. So there's your team for you. We've got it right for you now there. Thanks to Drawty for that. Let me pull that down to there. So there we go. Your team's there. Looks like it's Martial and Lingard in the front 2 with Mata and Garner and McTominay. That's your Manchester United team for tonight so far. And obviously we've got a strong bench, as I said, Fred playing. But let's see how we get on. Very excited. Very excited to see Garner for me. We've seen a bit of Williams, so I'm very excited to see Garner, and I'm very interested to see how he gets on in a game of this magnitude, because it is a big game. It is a big game for United. Greenwood needs game time, says Joshua Sapel. He's the gifted new natural striker and can't play. He needs game time. Lingy, Rashi, James are all not strikers. Coming from an ex-striker, Ollie has lost the plot. Interesting, Joshua. And the Campbell Life says, I think Garner will have a great game today. Very excited to see how he's going to play. Other than Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, do you actually have the defenders to play this formation in high-pressure environments? That is my concern, says Jonathan White. I think when we've got Lindelof and Twansebi back, and Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, we've got a good back five. But it's a very, very... I would acknowledge the fact that it's a very defensive lineup for Manchester United to be playing three centre-backs. I just don't... I mean, that's the bottom line. However you want to say it, we are playing five defenders. And maybe Williams and Aaron Wan-Bissaka will provide the width, but we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Because it's ultimately we are playing three centre backs, and most teams don't play three centre backs, and if they are, they have very attacking wing backs. And I don't think that. I mean, to be honest with you, there's a conversation to be had there. With regards to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, are we getting the best out of Aaron Wan-Bissaka if we're going to turn him into a right wing back? We bought the best defensive right back in the league, and we're now playing him as a right wing back. So I think that it's, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not an attacking right back. If you were going to play a 5-3-2 or a 3-5-2, go and buy Trent Alexander-Arnold equivalent. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a defensive right back, and we're effectively playing him in a wing back position. So I don't know. I mean, I've got Drawty joining me. We're just talking through this new formation that he seems to be going with. Ultimately, my stance is that this is not the formation he was going to start the season with. It's a little bit of desperation that he stumbled on. And ultimately, it is five defenders we're playing. However you want to do it, it's still five defenders instead of four. Are you there? Well, I'm talking to somebody and he obviously can't hear me. Oh.
Dude, you've muted your microphone. I can't hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me now. Did you hear what I said about Wan-Bissaka?
No, didn't hear a thing.
Right, well, basically, everyone in the live comments is going to get this again. So basically, I was just saying, look, I think Ollie stumbled on this formation because it's definitely not the formation he was planning on doing in the summer. And no matter what anybody says, it is five defenders. He's playing five defenders instead of four.
Yeah, he has to though, because I think at the moment the squad's so thin. He had to make a change, because if you look at the results we've had since certainly Pogba's injury, we just haven't had the squad depth to play with four at the back at the moment, and we've been losing games quite simply in the Premier League. And we sort of turned the corner against Liverpool. I don't know how you felt about that, but I actually felt this formation worked for Liverpool.
But Liverpool are one of the best teams in Europe. Partizan Belgrade are not.
They're not, but at the end of the day, the trouble is if you're going to keep changing your formation, your players are constantly having to adapt new tactics. And as we've seen with other teams, when you chop and change your tactics, sometimes it can just disrupt your rhythm. So maybe this is a ploy by Ollie to kind of say, okay, we're going to play this way for a little while. I don't know about you, but I kind of feel actually at the moment, because of Liverpool, it sort of worked. Why change it?
No, but I don't know. What I said is, and I will be honest, is that I don't feel very positive about Manchester United at the moment. I've got every reason to feel like that. We're in a bad situation. I think that this formation is desperation. I don't think he was even thinking about this 2 weeks ago, let alone a month ago. And it worked against Liverpool, so he's sticking with it. And to me personally, not the channel, to me personally, that stinks of a manager who is absolutely out of his depth and is just scratching around for something. I thought the formation worked brilliantly for Liverpool. And we saw Mourinho use it a couple of times. But to use it against Liverpool, then use it against Partizan, I just think it's just weird. It's weird to totally change your philosophy 10 games into a season.
Yeah, Is it a philosophy though, or is he literally just putting square pegs and round holes at the moment because he has to? I mean, there's a few people in the comments saying it's a 3-4-1-2, as in Williams and Wan-Bissaka playing wing backs, more in an attacking position.
Since when's Aaron Wan-Bissaka been a wing back? He's the best defensive right back in the league. He's not a wing back, so
it's like when people compare him to Trent, they're nothing alike. Wan is a very defensive right back. Trent's more of an attacking right back. So it doesn't work for us. Wan-Bissaka's not going to get miles at the pitch and put in crosses like Gary Neville used to, even though Neville wasn't that great at crossing sometimes. But
I'd go as far as to say we've wasted £50 million if we're going to play 3-5-2, because Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not a wing back. He is a defensive right back. He's the sort of right back you buy so that your attackers can attack, because he can do the job of two people. Putting him as a wing back, you're just not using what he's good at.
But the other thing is, if you're playing him in a back five, he's got less of the pitch to make an impact on. Because effectively, rather than having the court of the right hand side, really he's only got a fifth of the pitch on the right hand side because you've got three centre backs behind you. So he's constantly being squeezed so far out on the right hand side just to make up for the back five, unless he's playing at wing back, in which case he has to get forward. But like you said, it's not his game. So really, it doesn't make much sense to pin him in on the right, only doing a right back role if he's not going to offer anything attacking wise.
I just think that it would be very odd, and we'll have to see how long we use this system, but I'm surprised we're using it tonight because Partizan aren't that good, so I would expect to see it against Norwich and then against Chelsea and then against Bournemouth. And this is what worries me, is that this was not the plan in the summer. He's now come up with this plan because he's in trouble, but it totally goes against what the plan is. I get how I've spent the money on the defence, next I'm going to spend it on the midfield and the attack. But in many ways, in my mind, he's totally and utterly contradicted spending money on the back. Because if you spend 80 million on Harry Maguire and 50 million on Aaron Wan-Bissaka, what that says to me is I've spent money, big money, on two very, very good defensive players. So my back four with De Gea and Luke Shaw and Lindelof is a very, very good back five. And I've spent a lot of money on it. Why would you then make it even more defensive by adding another defender in there? It's all, you've spent a lot of money on your defence. You don't need a back five. You've spent a lot of money to have a back four that's solid so that you've got more going forward. And now we're going to a back five. It's like, we've just spent loads of money on our back four. We don't need to have another defender in there. And when you look at the defensive options, and I don't know whether you saw that there was a brilliant, brilliant comment from somebody who said, to anybody who thinks this isn't scraping the barrel and panicking from Ollie, if we were always planning to play a back five, he never would have let Chris Smalling go to Roma, because Chris Smalling's our fourth best centre-back. So you get one injury, Smalling comes in if you're playing three.
Well, here's the other thing, though, that this might tip you slightly over the edge. But isn't Garner a CDM? I thought he was more of a central defensive midfielder.
I think he can play there, but he does get a lot of goals in the sort of youth setup as well. So, I mean, I'm very excited to see him. Very excited to see him.
And I just hope, and I'm hoping, he's not going to do this. He's not going to use McTominay and Garner both as CDMs to sit in front of a back five, because then all you've got is your creative outlet in the midfield is Mata. So I'm hoping, McTominay will sit back and then he'll let Garner roam forward, trying to provide Martial and Lingard. Because otherwise, Jesus, we're playing basically with seven at the back. Mata sort of being a creative number 10 with two. Let's be honest here. Lingard's been out of form, and Martial needs to get a run of games and get his fitness up. So, to be honest with you, I think all eyes are on Garner tonight. I think if the lad has a really good game, it could kickstart his season and give United another option in the midfield, which we've just desperately been lacking in.
What I would say about Garner and Brandon Williams is I think if they were not playing tonight and you had Ashley Young at left back and you put maybe Fred or Matic in the midfield, I think people would be going mad. I do. I think that the only reason we're sort of like going, let's give it a chance, let's see how it goes, is because we're excited about Garner and Williams. The rest of the team, Rojo and Jones, Aaron Wan-Bissaka out of position, a back five when we've not got the ball, Lingard and Mata. There's a lot to actually be pretty concerned about. But I think that the Garner and...
It's only the... Yeah, but it's only the Europa, though. It's not like it's the Premier League, and I think tonight is just
Europa
about
could be
Lingard
more important than the Premier League, though.
Yeah, it could be, but at the end of the day, Lingard needs a run of games because, let's be fair, his form has been woeful.
He needs to me, I disagree. I've just tweeted this. I don't even know why he's starting. 8 months he's been shit. and Greenwood's on the bench so Lingard can walk straight back in. I think that's shocking, mate, to be honest.
It is shocking, but he needs to do something, because otherwise our squad is so dead, we've got no options. Because Lingard, when he was on that run of form last December, when he got 2 goals and 4 assists or whatever it was, he was at least effective. And if you can at least get that sort of performance out of him, then you have an option off the bench. At the moment, he's so useless, he's going to have to get himself into form. Otherwise, we are literally relying on Greenwood and Rashford and obviously Martial, but Rashford's not exactly firing, so Ollie hasn't really got many options. He has to play these players, because otherwise, if we start getting more injuries, the squad's decimated.
Yeah, you're right. Stephen Doyd says, if we stick with this system, the next transfer window will see us buying another centre-back. We pick up an injury to Maguire and Lindelof, we will be sure. Exactly, Stephen. And Digital De Silva says, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was originally a winger, then got played as a wing-back, then transferred into a full-back. He said himself. Yeah, but you know what? I used to play up front, then I was a sweeper. I would never have had trials as a forward. I got them as a sweeper. So, that's irrelevant. Rio Ferdinand used to play up front. He was a world-class centre-back. It does, maybe he settles into the position he is because that's the position that makes him a Premier League player. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, for me, defensively, I haven't seen a right-back like that in years. He is absolutely brilliant defensively. And as he said himself, he loves tackling. Unbelievable. Yeah. To play him as a wing back, I just think you take away. It's too defensive. You don't play a right back like that as a wing back. You just don't. But on Garner, I just wanted to come back on that. Let's not forget he's only just turned 18 years of age as well. So even if he has a good game, he's a bit like Greenwood, isn't he? We're going to have to be very, very patient with him.
Yeah, but he's the type of player where if he's on, the thing is with a midfielder, you get more of the ball. Whereas if you're, say, Greenwood and you're living off of scraps, it's very hard for Greenwood to try and affect the game unless he comes deep. But then he's not playing his game. Whereas Garner tonight, he's going to have a lot of the ball because obviously he's going to be in the middle of the park and he's going to be very effective. He's going to have a lot of impetus on him to be creative in the final third. So I think tonight actually is a really good test for him. And I think if he has a good game, he might just get in the first team, for a couple of games in the Premier League. Maybe Norwich, you never know. But it's a difficult one. He's basically thrown in straight into the fire, as you say. But I'm looking forward to it. I really, really think tonight for Garner is a massive night for his Man United career.
I tell you what, I absolutely do love. I'll never fail to be in love with the live comments anyway, but I love your formation arguments. I'm just reading them there. You've got FaZe and Dan saying it's a 3-4-1-2. You've got other people saying anything else. All I would say is football's very easy. For years and years and years, everybody played 4-4-2. Then we changed it a little bit. I remember around Euro 96 and Terry Venables with his wing backs and the 5-3-2. But when you start turning 5-3-2s into 3-4-1-2, you're really scraping at the barrel, lads and ladies. You are. This is not a 3-4-1-2. If it's a 3-4-1-2, then Williams and Wan-Bissaka are midfielders. They are right and left midfielders. That's what a 3-4-1-2 is. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a fullback and Brandon Williams is a fullback. It is a 5-3-2. With wing-backs who will have licence to get forward. It is not a 3-4-1-2 because they are not left midfielders and right midfielders. And if the sooner people start to understand formations, the less argument we'll have. It's a 5-3-2. And a 5-3-2 can still be very attacking, as it is on there, but they are wing-backs. They are not left and right midfielders. We move. Paul Robinson says it's a 3-5-2. I'd still disagree, Paul, because a 3-5-2 is technically... still, and I know why people are saying it, because they're looking at the infographic I'm looking at on BT and they've got Wan-Bissaka and Williams further forward than Garner and McTominay, which is actually, as Droity will verify, more to do with aesthetic graphics and the size of Wan-Bissaka's name and where they can fit it.
Well, yeah. But at the end of the day, McTominay still sits as a CDM, so you'd imagine Matt and Garner get forward anyway. So really, it could be a 5-1-2-2, which is a dreadful formation, but
I'm old school. I can't be dealing with all this graphic stuff. Don Ireland says Aaron Wan-Bissaka is get better going forward than we think. He'll prove it over time. Yeah, that I don't think nobody's saying we don't agree with that, Don. What we're saying is Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the best defensive right back in the league. Why would you turn him into a wing back? Just play a flat back four, and then you've got an extra attacker. Wrath Ronnie says, mate, you missed my super chat. It's Rowan Sharma. How can you now? You can remember. Let's have a good game tonight. Cheers, pal. And Jonathan White says, is this formation the future? Why not a back three of Twansibi, Lindelof, Maguire, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka with Shaw and Dalot as wing backs? Yeah, and Gold Piece Prosperity with a back seven, a grandad, and a disco dancer. Martial's running on a treadmill. Well, look, we've not even moved. Let's move away from the back for a bit, because the interesting thing is, and you touched on it as well, is that Lingard's been very, very poor for 8 months, and Mata's been very poor for over a year. They're the creative elements in this team today. So I really hope that Partizan are shit, because if they're halfway decent, it could be a long, hard night for Anthony Martial.
It could be, but in these type of games, these games that you think don't really mean anything against lesser opposition, they can cause an upset. But sometimes you do find out things about players you may not have known before. So Martial tonight, I think it's a good opportunity for him to hopefully get on the score sheet. But the trouble is, it's really hard at the moment to judge which Man United is going to turn up. Because we knew they were going to turn up against Liverpool, though, and they did. And it was very unlucky that we didn't win. But tonight, it might be a bit like Astana or AZ Alkmaar, where they were very flat performances. You didn't get much out of the team. And the creativity was lacking. So it's a very hard one for me to judge tonight. And I think even you would agree, Martial's probably the key in this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think Martial's got the quality. I've got no idea how this is going to go, and that's always the brilliance of European football. Because, well, it's the brilliance of Europa League. If there is anything brilliant about the Europa League, is we just haven't got a bloody clue about most of these teams. Occasionally in the Champions League, you come against teams you don't know much about, but in the Europa League, you get teams like this that you just think, bloody hell, I've got a clue how it's going to go. The bottom line is, Astana came to Old Trafford and very nearly got a point, but I thought United were atrocious that night. Are Partizan much better than Astana? No, but they've got home advantage. So a point's a good result for United, because I think we will win this at Old Trafford, and I think we'll beat Alkmaar at Old Trafford. And the main thing is to get through the group.
I agree, but I think I would be confident that United should pull off a 1-0 tonight. I think defensively, having a back five, there's no real excuses for conceding tonight. And if there are going to be excuses for conceding, or if there is a bad result, then it's down purely to tactics, because as you've said, and we've said this a number of times now, he's basically abandoned what he's been doing recently and gone straight to a back five, which is very, very defensive. So you would imagine the attacking five that are on the pitch should have a better chance of getting some goals if they don't have to worry about their defensive duties. But as we know, things don't always work out like that. So to be honest with you, I can't call it. I genuinely can't call it. I mean, the last couple of matches I've said they're going to be draws, and I kind of feel tonight's going to be another draw, like a 0-0 or a 1-1.
We will see. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. If you look up in the top corner, you'll see we're on 569,000 subscribers. YouTube have this thing now where it only updates every 1,000 subscribers. So I can tell you we're on 569,700. So we're only 300 short. So please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Share it if you're not, on Twitter and Facebook on the share button below. And we should go past 570 tonight, which would be great. Karim Dawi says, having a good tackling, pressing high up the pitch could work well with the press. I mean, look, this formation is a good formation in the right circumstances. In the first half against Liverpool, they had problems with it, and then they figured it out after about half an hour. But it had problems because I've always said this, and anyone who's watched the United stand for a long time will know a year ago Mourinho used the 5-3-2 a couple of times, and I always said I really like it because in the right circumstances it's a cheap formation, because you get three centre-backs, so you're good defensively, he says, with Jones and Rojo, two of those centre-backs, but on paper you should be fine defensively. You've got three centre-backs, you've got five defenders as well when you've not got the ball, so defending, you shouldn't be conceding goals really. You get the width from the wing backs, so there's your width. You get three in midfield, so you shouldn't get swamped in midfield, and you get two up front. So done correctly, the 5-3-2 or the 3-5-2 as it evolves when you've got the ball, if you do it effectively, it can be very effective because you don't get swamped in the midfield, you still get your width, and you get two up front, which is sometimes difficult to do in the modern game. So it can work well. The problem I think we're going to have with this is if we're not clever with it, against Liverpool who go on the front foot, you're going to get space to do stuff on the break. If you're playing Newcastle at St James's Park, who just sit back and go, well, what are you going to do then with your five defenders and your two holding midfielders? Come on then, what you got? And you suddenly then you're out of options. It works well, and we know, Drawty, to be fair, and everybody, we know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's number one and possibly only tactic is hitting teams on the break.
But how do we know that he's not playing a 5-4-1 and Lingard's in the midfield with just Martial up on his own? Because then you get
maybe he's come for a point.
Yeah, but because I think if you put 4 in the midfield and Lingard was sort of seen as a number 10 / creative player sometimes, it's if he loads the midfield and it is a 5-4-1 and Martial's up top on his own, then you probably have more of a chance of getting more possession based football. Whereas I kind of feel like a 5-3-2, you're wasting at the moment having 2 up top. So I don't know about you, I'm not too sure that he will play Lingard up front with Martial.
Well, I mean, Lingard's not really a fault. I think Lingard will be buzzing around him, won't he? Like James was with Rashford. I personally think it's going to be exactly the same way that we played against Liverpool. Wrath Ronnie says, Mark, can you please read my first super chat? It's about my birthday and my wishes towards you and Manchester United. Cheers, mate. Thanks. Well, happy birthday, pal, and thanks for the contribution. Please do smash a like on the video if you are watching, because we like to get 2,000 before kick-off. That would be great. Cameron Kirtley says, a question, is Williams black? No, he's white. And how is it not 5 at the back? Count the defenders. Simples, says Matt Baker. And everyone ripping into Ollie now. When we win this game tonight, you will say he got it spot on. Say nothing, says Alex Moss. Mate, personally, I've always said I want Solskjaer to be successful. But if we win tonight, I'm not going to say Ollie's at the wheel. I cannot overemphasise what a shit start to the season this is. And I think some people still aren't awake to it. 10 points from 9 games. I mean, that's just awful. If this is the first step towards redemption, great. But 1 result against Partizan Belgrade and a point against Liverpool, it's small steps. But hopefully they will be some steps forward. You can't play 3 centre-backs against a team like Partizan, says Alaya. Also, if this goes well with 5 at the back, would Ollie dare play 5 against Norwich? I think that's maybe what he is going to do, because I think what he's probably figured out, Drawty, is if you don't lose games, you don't lose your job. If you draw games, it annoys people, but nobody gets sacked for drawing games. If you look at every one of our managers, that will have been preceded by a loss. So, and to be fair, when you look at this group, we beat Astana, although it was very frustrating. We drew with Aziz at Alkmaar, even though they played us off the park for a lot of the game. If we draw here, we're through, basically. So maybe he's looked at it and gone, yeah, I ain't got Pogba. I need to rest players. I'm playing 5 at the back. Make sure we don't concede and we come away with a point. If we nick a goal,
at the end of the day, for Ollie.
You up?
Yeah, and I think for Ollie at the moment, he has to at least get a point here, but also it's a case of resting players for Norwich, because at the moment with the league position, United do need to start getting points on the board.
That's the priority, isn't it? Yeah.
So Europa may just fall by the wayside. It may just be at the moment this is literally just put out a few players who need game time, who haven't really had a run out. Jones has fallen down the pecking order quite a lot under Ollie. He's not making the bench sometimes. He's clearly not in Ollie's long-term plans.
Making me feel happy now.
Yeah, is it? Well, this is it.
It's like porn to me, that is.
Well, against Liverpool, Jones wasn't even on the bench, was he?
Yeah,
it wasn't
keep
until
it going. I'm getting excited. I'm loving all this. Phil Jones not on the bench, can't get on the bench, not involved against Liverpool. It literally is porn to the ears. I love it. I love that Phil Jones doesn't get involved.
But this is it. And now he's playing in Europa purely because Ollie's just giving him game time. The same with Rojo's not exactly a first teamer. So Ollie has changed in that regard. He's noticed, at least in some capacity, that Phil Jones just isn't the way to go. So tonight, him playing Jones isn't, Phil Jones is playing his way back into the team. This is Europa. This game doesn't matter too much to us. So I'm just going to put some of the players out there who really don't matter. So I don't really have a problem too much. And I don't think Phil Jones is so awfully bad that we're going to concede loads tonight. But then again, he's Phil Jones. So
hey, even I don't want any more Phil Jones moments. But then again, there's two of them tonight. There's Rojo as well. Michael Munro says, do you think Ollie will use this formation just from the result against Liverpool? He could, in his eyes, think it's the perfect tactic to use all season. I don't think you can. To be honest, I don't think you can use any formation every game. We'll come back to that one, Michael, though. Jordan Such, the biggest thing I notice when I watch United is not formation, but the movement of the ball from back to front, especially against teams like this, and Mata being in the team doesn't help. You're right, we've always been slow at that. Joe Allen says, will Phil Jones be wearing his pink boots? Joe, I thought exactly the same thing. I've heard he will never wear pink boots again, and I think we all know why. Bradley Gamble says, if 80 million were made available in the January window, who are two players we could get for that kind of money? God knows. Krill Kokarov says, Ollie said in Liverpool Aftermath conference that he is playing 5-3-2 attacking, and he kind of did in the first half. I hope it's a good new start. Doubts, though. I mean, look, I'll come back to that. And Karen took the kids. I love that name. Ollie's been playing Football Manager and won a game with 5-3-2 and got excited. He's a simpleton. Let's call a spade a spade. Well, some people might think that's a bit harsh. We used 4-4-2 against PSG under Sir Alex Ferguson's successful period. When Ollie played, we always used 4-4-2. I reckon this team suits the formation. Simple. My problem with 5-3-2, Draughty, is that you're always playing five defenders. So, and I think the person who said it before is that if we did go this way in the future and we do spend more money, we're going to be spending more money on defenders because half your team is defenders, isn't it? If you count the goalkeeper as well, that's 6 of your team is defensive. And as Jordan Such said as well, this is a problem that we've had from the Van Gaal days through Mourinho, and we've still got it now. We move the ball too slow from back to front, and if we are going to play 5 defenders, we're going to have to spend money on more defenders because you can't rely on Jones and Rojo for the reasons you've said. And you need almost one of your defenders to be like a Lothar Matthäus, who is, or they're not really a centre-back, or a Matthias Sammer of Dortmund years ago. Little hint there, the Germans were brilliant at it. If you play a 5-3-2, you don't actually need to play 3 centre-backs. One of them almost needs to be a sweeper. And I don't see anybody who's going to come and do that.
Phil Jones, mate. Phil Jones is going to be a sweeper. He's going to be a CDM and he's going to be a centre-back. So expect a Sir Philip Jones masterclass tonight with a bullet header straight into his own net.
Aram Hackmart again has exposed what somebody said before. There is no way in a million years Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was even thinking what 5-3-2 was when the season started. He's really changed his mind now, and it shows how desperate he is, because Aram has said if Ole's plan was ever to play 3-5-2, why has he only got 3 forwards? Exactly. We need 2 forwards in a 3-5-2. We need 6 centre-backs in a 3-5-2. You probably need 2... You also need, if you're going to play a 3-5-2, you need two top class fullbacks in both positions, because it's a very demanding role, and we haven't got that. So I think we all can accept that this formation, whether it works or not, it's come about in the last couple of weeks, and he's totally changed his plan. So let's see how it goes tonight. Very interested. We're actually only about 6 minutes away from kickoff. So if everyone wants to get their score predictions in, and I will ask you, Draughty, what is your score prediction tonight? I've gone with a score draw, 1-1.
I am going also with a score draw, 1-1. I think we will score, but you can just see Partizan getting a goal. And at the moment, we seem to love a draw. So again, I'm going to go with a 1-1.
It is quite interesting, because what I would say, and I'm no Partizan season ticket holder at all, but they play one up front, which again is a waste of time when you're playing 3 centre backs. Sometimes you can play three centre backs against 1 striker, but this is what I mean. If you're going to do that, it would make a lot of sense for one of your centre backs, like Mourinho tried to do and got ridiculed for when he played McTominay or he played Herrera there. One of your centre-backs almost should be somebody who can play football and come out from the back, because Rojo and Jones can barely play football. They're just defenders. Maguire can come out from the back, but if they've only got 1 forward, it's going to be. I think tactically it's going to be very interesting. And the big thing that I'm excited about is James Garner tonight. That's what I'm excited about.
I think it's all about James Garner tonight. I think you're going to see a lot of him on the ball. He's going to have a lot of things going through him. A lot of the play going through him.
Hope so. Hope not. You make it sound like he's got diarrhea.
Well, you might do a Gary Lineker, World Cup 1990. So you don't want people chatting on the pitch, do you? But I think tonight is pretty much all about Garner, and I think it's going to be a big night for the lad. So that's how I feel about it. But very, very quickly, just because obviously we were talking about Brandon Williams earlier, how do you feel about Luke Shaw when he comes back? Do you think Luke Shaw has got what it takes to be a top player at the moment? I just feel like his career's sort of stagnated.
I think with Luke Shaw, it's quite interesting. I really do like Luke Shaw. Thank you to Damu for the latest contribution, actually. Players are coming out on the pitch. I like Luke Shaw. I've always been a fan of Luke Shaw, and everyone knows that Rance isn't, and a lot of you lot aren't. But I do like Luke Shaw. But what I would say is, I'm no fan of Ashley Young. I'd like Ashley Young to retire now. But I like the look of Brandon Williams, and I do see similarities between Brandon Williams and Luke Shaw. And he's not the same as Luke Shaw, of course he's not. But everybody does this. Everyone compares a player to somebody. And I like the look of Brandon Williams. And I think with Luke Shaw, we do need two good left backs, like the same we need with Wan-Bissaka. We need Delo to stay bloody fit, because we do need two players. And I don't know what you think, but I'm not confident, but I'm excited about Brandon Williams, because I think he's very young. He is going to make mistakes, but I like the look of him.
I've seen, in the games he has played, he's been very, very good defensively, and he's been very disciplined for someone so young coming into the first team at, a high level. So for me, it's going to be interesting to see how he develops alongside Luke Shaw, because Luke's 24 now. Williams is only 18, 19.
And he's very injury prone. I'd have to admit that myself.
So, and this is the problem with United at the moment. So many players are constantly injury prone. Bay is constantly injured.
And he always will be,
after his horrific injury. Yeah, and I think apparently there's a question mark over Twanzebe's fitness. Apparently he's constantly injured.
Which is a shame.
There's a lot of Fosu Mensah, again, injured. Delo, constantly injured. He was injured when we bought him. He's injured again now. So United have got a real problem with buying players who have suspect, fitness. And if Luke's going to keep getting injured all the time, Brandon's just going to take his spot. Unless United
I think especially at United, because of our recent history and injuries, we do need two players in each position. Brandon Williams, to me, look, it's very early. I remember Paddy McNair, and Brandon Williams has played less than Paddy McNair. So, and some people will be going, who's Paddy McNair? Well, he was going to be the next big thing, and Van Gaal destroyed him, to be honest. He subbed him off twice after half an hour, and he never recovered. I think he plays for
along with Donald Love.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is why you've got to be very careful. We all want the youth to come through, but we are a shit team at the moment, and Nicky Butt was right what he said. You want to give them time, but you don't really want to be giving them too much time in a team that's not doing well, because it can affect their development. You can get used to losing, you can affect their confidence, so we've got to be careful. Ollie getting the players ready for Allegri 3-5-2. You heard it here first, Marky. United 2, Tony Brace, says Zoting TV. Well, I'll let you get off, Drawty, but thanks for popping on for us. We are about to kick off. We're all set up, and hopefully, well, there's Phil Jones. I can't see his feet, but he just walks around like he doesn't know what's going on a lot of the time, doesn't he? But fair play to him. But final words from you. He's got yellow boots on.
He's got yellow boots on. Lovely stuff.
There's a new one there, isn't there?
I thought Wan-Bissaka had pink boots on then.
He's all right.
Honestly, let's just hope for a good game. Hope for a good performance. I think it'll be a 1-1, but I think we could maybe play a bit better tonight and maybe get a win.
Cheers, pal. I'll speak to you in a bit. Are you on Twitter?
Laters. Yeah, I'm on Twitter.
Cool. Nice one, mate. All right. I'll speak to you in a bit.
Cool. In a bit. Bye.
Thanks to Drawty there. You can follow him on Twitter at the Drawty Devil. Harry Maguire captain us tonight as well, which is another positive, I think. I think we'd all agree with that, wouldn't we? Harry Maguire captain. I think that's generally considered to be a good thing. Karen Took the Kid says, Garner is no nonsense. Those professional midfielders who get their heads down and do the business with their original hair are rare these days. I don't think Garner, if you keep an eye on him, is going to have his original hair for much longer. And I speak from experience here, because my dad's bald, and his dad's bald, and his brother's bald. So I used to get quite depressed thinking I was going to be bald. Look at that stadium, though, Partizan. I'll come back to that in a minute. That is the stadium, and it reminds me, the pictures. Remember the Busby Babes on the pitch, the last game? That's the pitch. That's the ground. And it almost feels, I know it's 61 years, but it almost feels sort of the same, doesn't it? Quite a funny feeling to this. I wouldn't say eerie, but a funny feeling. But yeah, if you look at Garner, he's going to 2 years. It's all gone. That's what I would say. I'm a bit of a hair expert. Is that Tosic who played for United as artificial intelligence? Yes, it is. It is. You're right. Please do smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. We're about to kick off. I will start the timer for you as soon as it does. I've got no idea how good Partizan Belgrade are going to be. And let's see how we go. We're up and running. Timer's on. Yabba dabba doo. Jones is not in the midfield. I can instantly tell you we are playing a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2. Garner is playing deep. Maguire is playing central. Rojo to the left of him. Jones to the right of him. And then up front, Lingard's playing off Martial with Mata. But Wan-Bissaka's playing very, very far forward at the moment. And that's what we'll try and do. We will try and push our wing-backs very, very far forward. Formation's not changed. It's exactly what we thought it was going to be. Right. 420 Marley says, I'm buzzing to see Harry Maguire leading the line. Or, well, he's leading the team, I think he means. Overcharged Egg says, I've got a contact in Italy that says Allegri loves kebabs. I like kebabs. And Frank Ackland says, we're probably going to lose. We should have started Greenwood. I'm off to the Tesco. He didn't say that. I just thought it'd be quite funny to add that in. But United, you know what? I think United will have a lot of the ball in this game. So let's see how we get on. Phil Jones there. Traffic cone feet. He's wearing yellow. Banana feet. Anything with yellow that we can have a go at Phil Jones for. Banana. I don't know. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? Nice little flick by Lingard. And then Mata feeds Wan-Bissaka. And Partizan have won it back. Maguire wins it. Phil Jones. Phil Jones did score a goal in pre-season. He could well score. Shadow. Traffic cones are orange, mate, says Alex Reed. No, they're not. There's yellow police traffic cones. Don't talk to me about traffic cones. I'm an expert. I've got a book. Most traffic cones these days are actually yellow because of... well, they're not actually. There are orange ones as well, but... Look at that. Look at that crowd behind the goal. They're proper up for it. Which is good, as long as they keep it legal. We don't want to see anything illegal. Is VAR in play? Says Dylan. Good. Very good question. I don't think it is in the Europa League unless it's the final. I don't think Europa League comes in. I don't think that there is any VAR. Romero. Oof, bloody hell. Caught that bad there. But looked offside to me. But Romero's kicked it out. It's a throw into 6'4", that striker is. I think is it Sadiq, their player? I forget what his name was. He's on loan from Italy anyway. But we did get caught out there. We've got 3 bloody centre-backs and we got caught out by a ball over the top. That's why I thought it was going to be blown offside. Matt Elliott says, I'm not sure what kind of formation we're playing. I'm going to be neutral here and say it is a 3-5-2 when we're on the attack, because Wan-Bissaka and Williams are getting forward, and when they've got the ball, it's a 5-3-2. Garner's sitting. Garner's the only sitting midfielder. It's not McTominay. If you look at my graphic there, swap Garner with McTominay because Garner's the one who's sitting centrally. But it's not really settled down so far. 5 minutes gone. Red Ninja 1226. The timer is above the score. You can see it there. We're just coming up for 4 minutes and 30 seconds in. 20 seconds. Ishmael says that Dalot's better going forward than Wan-Bissaka. I think Dalot would work really well as a wing back. You're right. Red Baron says wasps and bees have yellow colour to indicate danger. He's not wrong. And Brian McCauley says, how is Rojo playing? It's a little bit early to be talking about how anybody's playing, to be honest. But here he is, Banana Man, yellow boots, Phil Jones. I think, to be honest with you, I think Phil Jones, I'll take suggestions, but banana feet, because everyone knows banana skins make you slip, and Phil Jones is a bit of a... So he's now Banana Man. I can't believe he's... Just wear black boots, Phil. You know, why draw attention to yourself? But a lot of them wear yellow boots, and here's Brandon Williams trying to get forward, and he's given a foul away there. So that'll be a foul to Partizan. Josh Sheridan says, we all know what yellow stands for. Danger. Phil Jones equals lemon feet, says Alex Marmon. He's not the only one wearing coloured boots. I mean, Aaron Wan-Bissaka's, they're not really pink boots. And I don't think Aaron Wan-Bissaka's going to give us any big pink boot moments, is he? Where are we all watching from, actually? Red Irish Ohio is in Ohio, funnily enough. But let us know in the live comments where you're watching from. It might be one of those games tonight. I don't know. We'll have to see how it gets on. But please do share the video. There's a share button underneath. And please do subscribe as well. You can share it on Twitter and Facebook if you already are a subscriber, which I know many of you are. Remember, the United Stand is live every night. We are in Belgrade. Flex is over there, so we will be doing fan cams. It's going to be interesting how many you can get, because they're going to be kept in an hour afterwards. But... Harry Maguire's given a foul away there, actually, so it'll be an opportunity for them to get into the box. I got his name right. It is Sadiq. It is Sadiq, the number 9. We've got people watching from Australia. We got people from Milton Keynes, Saudi Arabia, London, Birmingham, Canada, Albuquerque, South Africa, Greenland, California, India, Malta. This is the fan base. Don't ever leave Manchester United, by the way. Don't be tempted to go because we're shit. Stay part of the family. And remember, tonight... This is the ground our greatest ever team played at their last game, the Busby Babes, on this very ground. So let's hope we can get something tonight. Please do subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We're trying to get to 570,000 tonight. Cross comes in, back post, and it's gone for a goal kick. Sadiq threw his head up at it, but nothing's become of it. Do you get, there's a few people like, and I'm not digging those countries out at all, but like there literally is people from all over, Mexico, Somalia, India, Canada, Trinidad, New Zealand. Is there anywhere in the world now? Because Flex goes like places. He was in China and he was saying the 4G is a bit difficult, but that's because they don't like the Western world, do they? They don't like YouTube and stuff. But in Serbia, he's like, yeah, it's fine. Is there anywhere in the world that like really struggles for like internet now? I presume some places in Africa do, and poor countries probably do, but I think technology is pretty much everywhere, isn't it now? Apparently you can get 4 bars on the moon. Will Ollie get sacked if we don't get far top 4, says Nidwan Dooling. I don't know. I don't think there is any intention to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if I'm absolutely honest with you. I don't think there is. What do you got? So United knocking the ball about nicely at the moment, but all in their own half. And then McTominay. I mean, that's something you need to keep an eye on with McTominay. And I like McTominay. I think he's a real grinder. But his... Wan-Bissaka's just gone a little bit late in on their player there, but it's gone over. He's Japanese. The interesting thing about Scott McTominay, and I picked up on it on the show this week, is that his ball distribution's a little bit shit. And the same with Fred. Zayn Miassi says, Mark, you're back, Zayn. I don't know how you've done that. Mark, if you can't shift Pogba, will it be like your version of Ozil? No, because we actually pick Pogba. Like, Pogba plays every game for United if he's fit, whereas Arsenal don't want to pick Ozil. So very, very different. And United don't want to sell Pogba. It's Pogba who wants to go. So very, very different situation, Zane. You've misjudged that one. Do better next time. But look, as we're seeing with United here in this first 10 minutes, Partizan have got a lot of players behind the ball. And 3 centre-back. Lovely ball by Harry Maguire there. Doesn't work. With 3 centre-backs, should it be 2 centre-backs and you get an extra attacker? You know what I mean? The Partizan Belgrade manager, I recognise him. It's what's his name, isn't it? Used to play for Savo Milosevic. Used to play for Villa. That's who it is, isn't it? Mata is just awful, says Joe Rake. So, steady start from United. We will be the technically better team. Lovely turn there. And he's not given a free kick. So United have a bit of a chance to get a bit of an attack going here. Brandon Williams into Martial. Good turn. He's going down that left-hand side. 3-1-5-1 with Garner in as the link. Shocking tactics, says Son23. And here's Phil Jones on an attack. Gives it to Wan-Bissaka. He'll get it back. That's a rhyme. That's a rap. Phil Jones, you fucking crap. Hey! I'm a poet and I didn't know it. I only said Phil Jones is fucking crap to finish off the rap. And we're going backwards already. Is it just me or does Williams seem to be right-footed? Says Karan Dawish. I think he's left-footed. He's on the ball now. Well, you're right. He does use his right a lot. I hadn't thought about that. McTominay gets the cross in. Anyway, he does use his right a lot. You're right. Arrived home from work. How was the game started, says Humi. I'd say United are shading it. To be honest. We are the better team. It's just whether we can get in front. I think early goals against this lot are always important. There's a foul on Harry Maguire there, I think, by Harry Maguire, because he had a free shot at goal. So that'll be a free kick. 12 minutes in. I mean, look, there's a part of me, I was saying in the build-up, that I think, maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has just set this game up with the purpose of not losing the game, to be honest with you. Maybe that's his whole idea. Because Anamando Rake says, if you wake up one morning and see a tent pitched up in your garden, don't worry, it's only Zayn moving in. But yeah, I thought that was a very good comment by Karim Dowie about Brandon Williams. He does seem a very right-footed player, but he is right-footed, says more with Josh. Well, to be honest, I've always said I don't watch a lot of the youth. I watch a little bit of the youth, but I don't watch a lot of it because I think ultimately how they do well in youth football is will only ever be really portrayed by when they go into the first team. But he ain't going to be a future left back if he's a right footer, is he? He needs to be both footed. He's an Irwin, says Hippodrome. Yeah, I was going to say, because I've seen him using his left quite a lot. As long as he can whip it in with his left, that's what we want. 75 possession to United, says Tyler Jackson. Yeah, well, you're going to expect... We've got a free kick here. And it's a decent position. It came over the top of Martial. Not like that. Not like that. He jumped over the top of him. And it was a foul, to be honest, because he's using his arm into the back of the neck. He could have a sore neck tomorrow morning. Williams is right-footed. I thought you'd know that, Mark, says Lee Ballington. No, I wouldn't know that because I don't watch a lot of the youth. And he clearly does use his left a lot. Wolves are losing in Bratislava. They're losing 1-0. It's Giggs' night tomorrow, Timmy. Yes, it is Ryan Giggs' night tomorrow. So United got an opportunity to whip a corner in here, a cross in here. It's going to be Garner on it, I think, unless Mata curls it towards goal. But ideally, it should be. I think Mata's going to curl it towards goal. I don't like these sort of free kicks. You want to be whipping it towards the attacking header, not away from it. But Mata's going to take it. Goal. Oh, I thought he'd scored. I was wondering why they weren't celebrating. It should be 1-0. McTominay's got to score that. It works really well. Mata whips it over towards the back post. McTominay comes in on it and he heads it wide. I thought it was in the back of the net. He's unlucky. Should have scored. Bit like the Arsenal game, innit, Scott? You got to open your eyes up, mate. Is his eyes closed? Should have scored. We never present enough in the midfield. Watch our midfielders stand behind players like Mata and Lingard. Our backline have to play the long ball, says Hader Hamand. And Lee Bollington, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, it should have been 1-0 there. Should have been 1-0. McTominay should have scored. Nice. It worked quite well, actually. It was a good cross by Mata. I don't normally like them whipping in like that, but we exploited a weakness of Partizan. And look at Wan-Bissaka flying into the tackles there. Should be 1-0 up. And Philip Thomas is right. McTominay does get into scoring positions, especially with his head. Gwilym Garrigan, take this with a pinch of salt because we don't know whether it's true. He says that Brandon Williams is my second cousin. He's definitely left-footed. And how many you got coming tomorrow night? All night, says who me? I don't know. I'll probably be out quite late. Do you rate Williams, says Henry Grote? I like the look of him. I mean, it's very early days, but I do like the look of him. I mean, Garner's the one I'm interested in tonight. You know, he's playing in a very interesting position as the holding midfielder. To be honest, you can sort of see his... you can see he's 18 years of age. He does look very small compared to everybody else. But what a game for him to be playing in. Andrew Kiang says, coming from a Chelsea fan, I really hope you guys get through the series of games well so we can play a fully fit United side. I'd be interested to see the outcome of such a game. Well, I think if you're talking about next week, mate, there's no way you'll play your first team and we'll play our first team in a Carabao Cup game. We just won't do it. We won't do it. I think you'll see Gomez and Chong play next week for United against Chelsea, which is only 6 days away, and we've got Norwich on Sunday, and then we've got Bournemouth on the Saturday. We won't play our first team in the Carabao Cup. I think Garner's more got box to box from what I've heard about him as well than a CDM, but you know he's obviously just been given a certain role today. But United are attacking quite well at the moment, and we've got another corner here. Partizan have not started off very well at all, have they? To be honest. I thought it was going to be a corner there. What's gone wrong? But they've done sod all, Partizan. I mean, they're the home team, 20 minutes. They've done absolutely nothing. You know, you expect as the home team, with the crowd behind them, that they would have at least, you know, done something in the first 20 minutes to sort of make us be worried. But no. Very slow game, says Chaz. We need to move the ball quicker, says Luke Jones. You could basically put that on a piece of paper and to describe the last 3 years, mate. We don't move the ball quick enough, do we? And Tyler says, we should have come into this game with the intent of battering this team. Instead, we have 5 defenders and 2 CDMs. Well, to be fair, I don't think we are playing 2 CDMs. McTominay is playing more advanced than Garner. Some tasty tackles going in from Partizan, which is what you would expect. We don't want to be picking up any injuries, though. Remix Gaming at its core says, why do you think Greenwood isn't getting the game time despite being the most talented youngster and our forward depth being thin? I think in relation to today, Greenwood is suffering because of this formation, and we didn't talk about it before the game, but Phil Jones trying to dive when he's been tackled. Bloody hell. You see Phil Jones there in the dive. Bloody hell. He got tackled and then he went... He is Banana Man with his yellow boots. Eric, the banana man. When he eats a banana, he turns into Banana Man. When he gets tackled, he turns into Banana Man. But, I think Greenwood suffered tonight because of the formation. I think when we were playing like 4-2-3-1, he would have played. If we were playing with the front three, he would have played. But because we're playing with one striker and, the sort of player off the striker, which has been Dan James and tonight is Lingard, I think Greenwood could only have played if he was going to play in the Martial position, but Martial did need the minutes, and that's why Greenwood suffered. I Am Moss says we need James, Martial, Rashford playing at the same time. Well, hopefully we'll see that on Sunday, because I think we'll be a better team. United youth have all the same Barber, says T. Ballard. And the Jowdat says we've missed so many clear goal opportunities this season that I'm always in denial when we score. Well, McTominay should have scored. It was a good chance. And Shrikanthath Gramala says, Mark, don't you think against Liverpool it was Fergie who suggested Ollie the tactic to not get him sacked? I don't see any tactics from Ollie as such. I think we always struggle on the eye in a game like this. It's never easy on the eye in a game like this for United, is it? Because we're basically playing a team that's sitting back. And we struggle again. It's attack against defence, and United are struggling, I think. I think the way this is going. I mean, Tor says we're not playing very well. The way this game's going, I think we'll win this game. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but I think Partizan are worse than we actually thought. Banana Messi on display, says T. Ballard. And Lingy needs to play for under 23s. Defo is level, says Smith Jones. Well, he's on the ball at the moment. I've not really noticed much from Lingard, if I'm honest with you. Is Wan-Bissaka. Jones is getting a lot of the ball. Lingard. It's quite a good ball, that. McTominay shoots wide. That was good play. Lingard from the right-hand side finds McTominay in the D, and he gets a shot away. It's just wide. We are playing no better than any other game, says Paul Robinson. I think we're playing better because I think Partizan Belgrade are shit. Just seen certain often imitated, never duplicated. How sad. Layout, presenter, design is different class, says Who Me. Thank you very much, mate. Garrett Green says, Mark, why don't you think Ethan Laird got a shout? I don't know, to be honest with you. It is Lingard. This should be a goal. Even the layoff there is just too much power on it. And Martial slips down. I don't think it was a very good pass by Lingard, to be honest with you. I think if Ethan Laird had played, then you'd be playing a very young player. And we're already playing Williams and Garner. So maybe that was what it was all about. Tickets still available for the Christmas party, says John Richardson. Yes, I'll put the link in the video description tomorrow on a video for that. Yeah, we've only released it on one video, so there's still plenty of tickets left. To be fair, some have gone, but we've not really given it a push yet. It was just a bit of a push on that one video. Hazard 0212 Paul says I like Lingard. 1.5 million people do like Lingard. He's got 1.5 million followers on Twitter, so he must be doing something right. Who's in the bench, says Mia Busby. Well, United on the attack here with Williams. He's down that left-hand side. Nice little slip into Mata. Terrible cross by Mata. I mean, Partizan just don't have any creativity, so that everything they do is just a long ball up front, looking for Sadiq. They've got nothing up front. It's basically a defence against attack. Regular 8 p.m. show tonight, Mark, or not, says Christopher. I'll be live at 8 o'clock, mate, because this game will finish at about 10 to 8, and then I'll be doing the match reaction. So technically there is an 8 o'clock show. Yeah, it'll be the match reaction. Right, Partizan have actually got a chance to attack now because of a mistake in the midfield, but Phil Jones covers back. I don't think they're going to get a free kick there for that. He's gone down, clutching his face. Oh, Phil Jones caught him in the face. It wasn't accidental. He's just a clumsy prat. Lingard's better than Messi, says Amo Sally. The jokers are out already. Partizan breadsticks defending, says Harvey Jones. Well, they're holding out at the moment. Holding out at the moment. As usual, your stream is much better than this team, says Aranki Gamali. Thank you very much, mate. I'm confident we're going to win this game. I think you come into it, you bring United's form into it, and you think we've got, it'll be a draw. We're really, really bad, but I think Partizan are so bad. I just think it'd be a shock. It would be shocking if United didn't win this. Good run by the Japanese player here. I don't know his name. Good tackle there. United have won it back. And Lingard has gone down. I think he caught one in the nuts. At least he's got some balls. He's proved a few doubters there. Lingard has hurt his balls, so he's got some, which is always a good sign. Michael Salter says Garner's looking solid so far, positionally aware. He's doing his job. And Jimmy Marseille says we need to buy 2 CDMs desperately, not link up play in the midfield. Gardner is great youth prospect, but plays more box to box. Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's a CDM at this level, and I think a CDM is a position of great responsibility as well. So fair play to the lad, because there is a lot of. Wan-Bissaka's made a mistake here. This Japanese lad, I don't know what his name is for Partizan Belgrade, but he looks he does look tasty. And Williams was well out of position there, and fortunately Partizan didn't see the ball to switch it. That Sadiq he's got a terrible first touch. He ain't a target man. He's an ex-Arsenal player. Yeah, I think he didn't get a work permit for Arsenal, did he? The Asano, that's his name. Disease Gaming, thank you. Asano. I'll stop calling him the Japanese lad because he's had a good game when he's got on the ball. We deserve to call him by his name. How has your day been, Mark? How you feeling? I'm saving up the FIFA career mode for a weekend binge. Great show as always, mate, says Humi. Yeah, well, my FIFA career mode today, I don't want to spoil it, but I did very, very well. And it's funny, I did so well, I had people telling me I'd cheated. I'd messed around with something called sliders, even though I was clearly playing Legendary. I'm not actually that bad at FIFA when I get my eye in. And I got my eye in today. It was a good stream. Mark, what are your thoughts on Martial playing today? I would have saved him for Sunday, just coming back from injury, says second place. No, I mean, look, there's 2 ways of looking at that. I think he needs game time. I think when you've been out for 8 weeks, you need game time, otherwise you're rusty. So I think picking Martial was absolutely essential today. He was so good in the first 3 games of the season. We needed to play him today. He needs to play today. If he can't play on Sunday because he plays 90 today and he's too sore, he does need to play today. That's part of your recuperation. This is crap from both sides, says Jordan Such. McTominay's just tripped up over the ball himself there. It's a shame it wasn't a Partizan player because he went down like a bag of potatoes. This Sadiq is crap. His first touch is crap anyway. He'll probably end up scoring, but that was late by Rojo. And they've got an overlap. Partizan there. The game was stretched a bit. And what's surprising me a bit with United from a tactical point of view is that even though we're playing a 5-3-2, I keep looking. If you watch it again, thanks for contribution, Jordan Sidhu. But that attack there from Partizan and the 1-2 minutes ago, they're on the left and there's an unmarked player on the right. And this time they're on the right and there's an unmarked player on the left. And I'm wondering how that's happening when we're playing a back 5. Like, we should be covered all the way along the back line. But it seems to me when they're attacking one side, we're a little bit light on the other. But Partizan are bad. I don't like to say it because they could still beat us, but they're really bad. It isn't great. I've got to be honest. I mean, I've just tweeted it there, and maybe it'll be a little bit controversial, but I do actually believe it. And I'm sure some people in the live comments will verify this. Half an hour gone, 0-0, no real chance apart from the header from McTominay, which was from a free kick. I think Partizan are shit. Like, they can't hold the ball up. They can't string two passes together. Defensive, they look all over the place. They remind me of a pub team. I think if Man City or Liverpool or Spurs or Chelsea or Arsenal were playing them, they'd be 4 or 5-0 up already. And I can't go in on Garner or Williams and a couple of other players, but there's senior pros on there on nearly 150 grand a week. It's just not good enough. It isn't good enough. But we know this, and I think this formation's too defensive. I don't think you need 3 centre-backs against 1 forward. It's costing us a player on the attack. You've got Jones, Rojo and Maguire dealing with a striker who's got no first touch. It's a waste of a centre-back. Of course you've got to play 2 centre-backs, but 3 centre-backs against a striker like that, what a waste. But they can't string a ball together. It's just a lack of confidence, Mark. Don't know how Ollie can improve it. And do you think Lingard's part of the club's future, says Josh Brownswood? I think if we bought correctly, Lingard could be a bench player. He's not a first teamer. I mean, the thing is, when Partizan Belgrade, I mean, they're awful. They're absolutely shit. Like, they've just knocked the ball out for a throw in there when it was a simple bit of control. They're just hoofing shit balls into the box. They're really bad, Partizan Belgrade. I can't get how we've not created any chances against a team like this. Oh, Sadiq and Wan-Bissaka's won a corner there, but I'm going to have a back stretch here. I'm still here, everybody. I need a back stretch, and it looks stupid when I do it on camera. United have the creativity and application of a blind paraplegic, says Meb3rd. We're not worse than them, to be fair. We're not worse than them. They're into the box here, though, and we'll get rid of that with Mata. Oh, what's that sort of ball by Mata there? Put your bloody foot through it. Tries to chip it out when he's in his own just outside his own penalty box. Invites the pressure. Sideways back passing from United. Is Mata playing, says Dazu W. Well, I've just seen him do a terrible clearance there. And Partizan are now, the problem is Partizan are now starting to get confident, which is not what you want. 32 minutes. He's wearing an invisibility cloak, says Sally Devil Red 7. He'd still be offside if he did. That Sadiq's touch is right up there with Romelu Lukaku. Don't slip it. Oh. Well done, Phil Jones. It's a corner. We are better off playing with 10 players than having Mata in the team, honestly. No creativity in the team, no intensity against a team like this, says Dawar Mushtaq. I just think I reserve judgment. We are away from home, but I think this formation's an absolute waste of time. To play 3 centre backs against a team like this when they've only got 1 up front is shocking, really. Come on, lads, do the Busby Babes proud, says Samuel Happerman. Well, yeah, exactly. I don't want to go down that route because it's, you'd laugh. I'm sure a lot of you are watching anyway. They just did some corner routine and their players just shot from the edge of the box and nearly at the corner flag. They're so bad, Partizan. That's the thing. They are so bad. They should be getting put to the sword. And again, another terrible pass out from the back. And this Sadiq, he's awful. He's bloody awful. He's crap. He is. He's one of the worst centre-forwards I've ever seen. He'll score, don't worry. They've just shot from distance there. It says something when I turned off the match on sport to look at your ugly mug, says Meb Third. That's not very nice, is it? There's no need for that. There's no need for that. We will concede. Says, I tell you what, Wraith Storm, we'll have to go some to concede because they are awful. This team we're playing are awful. They're really bad. I mean, just get the points and let's forget about tonight. That's what I say. Because if we can't create a chance and score a goal, then we are in big, big trouble as a football club. Big, big trouble. This is 3 points. This is a freebie. But Partizan, to be honest with you, over the last few minutes, Partizan have had a lot of the ball. Stephen Dowd says that when the most used passes matter to Rojo or Maguire, we're in trouble. This formation is brutal. We get the ball in our defence and have no outlet. Yeah, I am going to put a tweet out about that in a moment. I just wanted to... Probably should do it in a minute, actually. But McTominay goes backwards. All our passes are backwards. And Jones goes back to the bloody keeper. Oh, just what are we doing? What are we doing as a football club? We had it in their half and we go back to the keeper. Three players. Meant it in a good-natured banter way, Meb said. It's fine, don't worry. I've been called a lot worse. Porto are beating Rangers 1-0. Right, United are on the attack here. Martial, you've got some bloody space. Just go past them all. He goes backwards. My screensaver is better than this. It's gold piece of prosperity. We just need to get in front. Cross came in there from Mata. Garner. Oh, Wan-Bissaka's won it. Shoot, Lingard. He's at the post. Oh, I tell you what, we were a bit fortuitous to get the chance, but it was a good hit by Lingard, to be fair. Phil Jones is diving like a bloody prat there. Oh, he's got a foul. Well done, Phil. So we've hit the post with Lingard. But this is what I mean. They're so bad. They had the chance to clear it. Wan-Bissaka doesn't even realise he gets the tackle here. That was a foul on Phil Jones, to be fair. Wan-Bissaka does the tackle on the edge of the box. Doesn't realise he's even won it. Lovely bit of play to get it to Lingard. Lingard's shot's perfect. It's the post. Partizan is a bronze team on FIFA, says T. Ballard. Spot on. Right, this free kick is exactly the same spot where McTominay missed the header. So if we put the same sort of cross in again, we should score. This is painful to watch, honestly, says Robert Moore. Well, I think the minimum we've got to do, Robert, is just win this game because they are so bad. Let's just win the game and get out of Belgrade. Mata. Maguire's kept it on. No, it's not. It's gone out. George Cronis says, your agenda with Jones is getting boring. Mate, there's no agenda. I genuinely think he's shit. That's not an agenda. It's an opinion. Let's all ask the mods how bad they're doing. I wish Ollie would just sit down and listen to you, says Dazus. Don't say that. You'll get a load of hate, Dazza281986 YouTube. And Atul Pandey says, midfield sucks and that's the only reason for the goal drought this season. We will be better when we get Pogba back and we get Rashford playing and we get Dan James playing. We will be better, but I don't think this formation's the answer. I'm sorry for all Man United. Wayne D. General says the game is so boring to watch. I mean, I just don't get why we're playing three centre-backs. Three centre-backs against a striker who has got a worse first touch than Lukaku. They're so bad, we're giving them way too much respect. He's hit the post! Sadiq! He's just hit the bloody post. Well, he can shoot. He can shoot. And I think there was a foul there or something anyway. Well, he's got a terrible first touch. He's definitely got a terrible first touch, but he's not got a bad shot on him. And I thought he bloody scored there. Bring in the Norwegian Van Nistelrooy, Haaland, says Strutsen. And Romero was beat all ends up there. He's got a good technique on him, to be fair. Mark, if Saudis buy United, you know they don't like criticism, so you might be careful what you write, says Amias. Yeah, I've heard a few people say that. Well, if I disappear when the Saudis take over, you know what's gone on, don't you? All I'd say is avenge my death. Top 10 predictions for the Prem in order. Don't really care. Certified HT. Not interested in that. Seeley says you're getting done on Sunday. I don't know. I mean, Norwich got beat 5-1 at home by Villa. It's a lovely shot by Sadiq, to be fair. Good tech as that. Phil Jones looks like he shat his pants as the Jordat. That's just the way he plays. And here is Sadiq again. Oh, just wide again. Bloody hell. That was Asano that time. Phil Jones looks like he shit his pants. Ollie will bust out a new 10-0 formation at Norwich, says Stephen Dowd. Well, I've just tweeted it out there, and I would hope it gets a bit of a reaction. Whatever. And I do think we'll go on and win this game. I mean, Phil Jones did the great thing there of tackling somebody but still letting them get a shot away. I've never seen that before. He actually does tackle them, but they still shoot. I've just tweeted it, and I'll stand by it. I think Phil Jones has played more passes back to Romero in this game than we've done all season to our goalkeeper. But he's just played a good deep ball forward there into McTominay. And Matt has got some space here. Gets it out to Williams. We've got him stretched a little bit here. He's going for the box. Be careful. Penalty! He's given a penalty to United. I don't know whether it was, but it's young Williams who got it. He's not happy. I think it is a penalty. I think it looked like it was going to be it all the way. What do you think United will? Where do you think United will finish in the Premier League with Ollie as the coach? Says Anaradun Barrington. I don't know. But what's interesting about this goal here for United is there is no VAR. I think it is a penalty. It's a good run by Brandon Williams. He doesn't get the ball. It's a stone wall penalty. Forget about it. It's a stone wall penalty. But it's interesting. Partizan were just coming into the game. And what happens? They stretch themselves and United are a counter-attacking team. We do well against teams that attack us. And they started to attack us. The space appears. They lose their discipline and we score a goal. Penalty. Martial. Here he goes. Martial. 1-0. Wrap it up and take it to Santa. He don't miss those. Mark, are you able to understand what Emery says at Arsenal? He's impossible to understand. We need an interpreter. I don't want to talk about fucking Arsenal. Fuck off. We've just gone 1-0 up, mate. Fucking Arsenal. 1-0. Anthony Martial. He don't miss those. Lingard's in the group now saying we don't let this slip. It's Partizan Belgrade, lads. But look, what's good about United is when a team attacks us, we are very, very efficient. And it's very, very good work by Brandon Williams. Martial makes it 1-0. And as I said, I don't think it's been a very good half from United, but they are awful. I'll just wind up a few people on Twitter there. Martial makes it 1-0 to Manchester United. Lovely stuff. Right, I just need to change the score now. Baby, give it up, give it up. We're nearly at half time as well. We just got, as I said, we've just got to get out of this game and win. Because, in all honesty, they're bloody awful. They're absolutely awful. I need to change the score, everybody. Martial, never a doubt with the penalty. Never in doubt. And we lead 1-0. And I can't see them getting back into it now. I think the game will open up and I can see us getting a couple more. Right. Let me change it. Bing bong bing, bing bong bing. I'll be back, I'll be back, I'll be back, I'll be back. Another one before half time. Terrible first touch by Mata. And Martial gets a goal. Yes. Oh, we got. That's. It's just blown up for half time, and I didn't even think we'd even hit 45 minutes. But that gives me time to get the score up, which is nice. Let me just drop that down. Image 7. Turn the timer off. But it's not 1-0 to Partizan. I've done it on purpose for a bit of a laugh. It's not 1-0 to Partizan. Don't get excited, Arsenal fans. It's 1-0 to Manchester United. But there you go, half time. Get in the comments. I just want to, before I give my thoughts, I want to sort of get everybody else's thoughts, because I think that's very important. What are your thoughts on that half? The bottom line is we are winning 1-0. And I would say what I said in the half. I'm not going to change it. We don't create enough chances. We are ridiculously holding too many players back. It was a penalty. I think United work really well against teams that attack us, because we can counter-attack. And Partizan, I think they started to get a bit of a football equivalent of a hard-on. They got excited. They started going forward thinking they were going to score after they'd hit the post. They left space at the back, and United exploited that. And that's why we're 1-0 up. It's a stonewall penalty, and Martial scores it. Clinical. And that's good to see. But what I would say is, I've not seen United play a team as bad as Partizan Belgrade this season. They are atrocious. They can't string two passes together. They are pub-level football. I'm sorry. And Stephen Dowd says that Partizan's keeper looks like he's in a Zumba class. They're absolutely awful. I genuinely think Arsenal, Chelsea would be 4 or 5-0 up at half time. They are shite. And United have not created enough chances. And the reason we've not created enough chances is because this formation is ridiculous. Why are we playing? And we'll win this game now, because I think we'll get a clean sheet. But why are we playing 3 centre-backs against that forward? I mean, he's got a decent shot on him, but his first touch is like Lukaku's bloody first touch on a bloody on Red Bull. It's awful. And we're playing 3 centre-backs against 1 centre-forward like that. Just play 2 and then take one of the centre-backs off and get an attacker on, and we'll do more in the final third. So I'm not a big fan of this formation in a game like this. And I tell you what, if I was Norwich, I would be like, please, please, please play the 3 centre-backs against us, because they'll be like, we won't concede, and we'll get at them a lot more than Partizan have. So I've got my concerns about this formation, to be honest with you. But I do think that I felt after the first 10 minutes, I said it in the first half, that I think United will go on and win this, because they're so bad. They're so bad, Partizan. But I do think that this is a game we could be winning 4 or 5-0. But we've gone too defensive into it. This was a game to batter them, get in the confidence and move forward. Instead, we're winning on a flipping penalty. Also, Tony is wearing a gold chain, says Pradney Wadke. And Matthew Bolt says, it's like our attack is brain-dead approach. No combination, passing or creativity. These players are inept in every way. And Red Baron says, I'm sorry, but the coaching staff look really happy with themselves for defending and countering. Is this Man United poor? I do genuinely think that Manchester United's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's only way of playing football is counter-attacking football. Even when we went unbeaten for 3 months and we had a great start, he's a counter-attacking manager. That's all he seems to have, and it's good. It works against teams who attack us, because we did it to Chelsea, we did it to Arsenal, we did it to Liverpool, we've done it to Partizan tonight. When the team attack us, and if they don't do well on their attack, they leave space, and we exploit it. You've got to applaud that. And we did also hit the post with Lingard, and McTominay should have scored as well. So on a different day, it could have been 2-1 because they hit the post as well. But the reality is, the McTominay thing comes from a set piece. The Lingard post thing comes from a shit bit of defending. You're right. When do we carve teams open and create chances? We don't. And, that's something we need to desperately work on. Mark that shock to lead. He messes up the score, says Dan Martinez. And the people saying Ghana is trash are embarrassing. No one but themselves, says Serum Blade 57. I think that I've always said this about it's the Michael Carrick effect. No one ever really understood the job that Michael Carrick did. A CDM position is very hard to appreciate. James Garner, to be playing that position in a Europa League tie away from home at 18 years of age, I think he's done very, very well tonight. CDM role, it's about discipline, it's about spatial awareness, it's about picking up the runners, it's about always wanting the ball. And I think I'm very surprised that we've played him in that position tonight, because I thought we'd play him alongside McTominay, but he's done that role very, very well. I mean, he's not a 10 out of 10, but you've got to give him a lot of credit because he's doing it, at that young age in his first game. I thought he did well. Stephen Dowd, if you played this guy and Lukaku together up front and kicked a ball to one of them, it would never stop bouncing until one of them fell over. And Nerman Barrel says, we're a counter-attacking team at its best. And Sadiq looks pretty dangerous, says Peter Petter. Only if just make sure you're wearing like eye goggles, you'll be fine. He looks like he's got a good shot on him, but everything else he looks pretty poor. Zayn Miasi, Mark, if you lose tonight, will you still support Ollie? Well, you ain't gonna lose, Zayn. You'd have to be you'd have to be bloody League 2 standard to lose to them. They're awful. They're absolutely awful. Martial's on fire. Your defence is terrified, says Footy Live. I mean, I know it's only a penalty, but nice to see Martial hitting the back of the net. And all these players want to attack. McTominay, Garner, stop playing defensive. Ollie, says Star. And we're just not creating much. Come on, United, says Dino Rhino. And Williams over Young any day, all day, says Jeanette King. And you know what? You're right, Jeanette. We haven't spoken about that. There you have a young player coming in as the left wing back tonight. He's basically got us in front. A few people thought that wasn't a penalty because the player got the touch on the ball, but when you watch it back, he doesn't. That's brilliant speed by Brandon Williams. Very aggressive going forward. Very direct to expose that player. I think he knew he had the beating of him, but I've seen Williams against him a couple of times, and there was always another Partizan player there to back that player up. But because we caught them on the break, he knew if I get past him, I'm into space. And he went, and the player had to make the tackle because otherwise Williams was in the penalty box, cutting it back to someone, and it was 1-0. So very, very intelligent play by Williams, and he's got us out of a very, disappointing half from United in many ways. Mr. Beast says that Mata's been so quiet, I genuinely forgot he was on the pitch. This isn't the first time either. Clearly our squad is 100 million plus from being fixed. Look, I love Juan Mata as an individual and as a blog writer and as an ex-good footballer, but he's not. He's been bad for a long time. I've said this before. The opening day of last season against Leicester, over a year ago, he was terrible. And he's just consistently a bad player. I don't know why we kept him. I know why we're playing him now because he's on 140 grand a week and he's got a 2-year contract. But I don't know why we kept him. He offers nothing. He's so poor. He's so slow. And the reason Mata is slow, and some people stick up for him because some people think he's going to come good. The reason he's slow is the same reason Matic is slow. They're getting old. They're not going to get that sharpness back. He's bad. And I think Lingard looked okay compared to him today. Lee Galdart says, more I think about it, playing 3 centre-backs in this game makes sense. Uses fringe players and keeps Fred and Pereira fresh. Judge him if he does it versus Norwich. Interestingly, just got back from work and didn't miss anything, says Sal Bakari. Well, as long as you saw the goal, you're all right. You've got to stop being so negative, says United 99. No, I don't, mate. Mate, I'm not even being negative. We're winning 1-0. My favourite players scored. Brandon Williams did really well. James Garner's done really well. All I'm saying is, the only person being negative is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You don't need to play 3 centre-backs. Well, how am I being negative? Manchester United fan here, moaning when we're winning 1-0. How am I being negative? Because I know we should be winning 4 or 5-0. We should be sat here this Thursday evening on this autumnal night, sipping on a glass of wine, enjoying United smash some Farmers. That's what should be happening. Instead, we're watching 3 centre-backs play against Lukaku's cousin, first touch, worse, and we're playing 3 centre-backs. Like, we should be on the front foot against them. They've got nothing to be scared of. We don't need 3 centre-backs against 1 forward. We don't need to do it. 2 centre-backs, take 1 off, get another one in the midfield, and let's go forward and win this game 4 or 5-0. Because, I tell you what, most teams in the Premier League would be winning this game 4 or 5-0 at half-time. So that's not negative. Ollie's the one being bloody negative. It's too negative. Would you take Garner over Fred? No. Garner's brilliant tonight. This is about giving Garner 90 minutes in a United shirt in the first team. He's not ready for Premier League football. He still looks very... he's an 18-year-old. His body's not ready for it yet. But it's about giving him these opportunities. Michael Sauter says, take Jones off. What attacker do you want in today? Michael Sauter's hit the nail on the head. Take Phil Jones off. Use Maguire and Rojo to deal with one striker. Take Jones off and bring Greenwood on. Put Greenwood up with Martial. Pull Lingard deeper. Take Mata off. And then bring on, I don't know who we've got on the bench actually, but maybe bring on like Dan James or Fred for the last half an hour just to give him a bit of a run out. And let's go and win the game. But to be honest, there was an interesting point by Lee there about, maybe he's playing 3 centre-backs to rest other players. Scars Chosen Spoken Man says, sorry, but you are extremely negative about everything and it's getting very jarring. Look, mate, I really don't give a shit what you think, because if you're happy with this situation, I applaud you. I really do. I'm not happy with this situation. 10 points after 9 Premier League games is relegation form. Playing 3 centre-backs against Partizan Belgrade is ridiculously negative. So if you think my negativity is jarring, or the majority of people in the live comments negativity is jarring, then maybe you need to take a long, hard look at yourself and think, why do I find this acceptable for Manchester United Football Club? Look at the last 6 years, mate, and ask yourself, why is this acceptable? You don't support Maidstone United, you support Manchester United. And this is not good enough. And this is not the vision that we should be buying into for the next 2 years that we keep getting told about. So look, you might be uncomfortable with it. The club might be uncomfortable with it. But they need to listen to it and they need to start doing the things that will get the fans being positive again. Nobody wants to be moaning, but we are spending our time watching that shit. And to be fair to the players tonight, I don't really blame the players, because I think that is a ridiculously negative approach to a... They are so bad. That's what's irritating me. Partizan are so bad. We could actually be sat here tonight winning 4 or 5-0 going, you know what? Maybe we're onto something. Maybe this is the confidence that we need. But we're not. We're not. I think United will win the Europa League and qualify for the Champions League, says Jenks1102. I think if we do win tonight, we will get through the group. And then you're into the knockout stage in February. And if we buy people in January, who knows what can happen. Matt Rush says, Williams has already done more than Young all season. Easy first teamer. This game is all about improving the confidence with the group. And Avashek Shashazi says, a 3-5-2 works in a world where we can seamlessly move from 5-3-2 without the ball to 3-5-2 with it. A great attacking triplet front and attacking wing backs with deadly crosses. We just don't have that yet. I don't think, and I'll keep it back for the match reaction, I don't think this formation, I'm just going to stretch my back out. Williams and Aaron Wan-Bissaka have spent more time attacking, says Joe Holdway. I don't think this formation in any way suits us going forward. And also, this formation is not anywhere near what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer ever planned to do at the start of the season. If he was planning to do this, we wouldn't have got rid of Smalling. If he was planning to do this, he wouldn't have got rid of Lukaku and Sanchez. This 5-3-2, and the Campbell Lyle says, stop explaining yourself to stupid people. Well, he did make a super chat, so I have to be respectful of it. This 5-3-2 or 3-5-2 that we're using now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has literally come up with this in the last 2 weeks in the international break. He had no intention of using this. It's an admission of failure, because his intention coming into this season was a back four. That's why he spent so much on Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because he was playing a back four. He strengthened that back four. He was going to play a back four, and it's failed. So now he's like, I've got to do something new. And he's gone with this 3 centre-back thing, which we're not equipped to do. We haven't got enough centre-backs to play 3 centre-backs, because the minute Lindelof, Maguire or Twansibi get injured or need a rest, you're playing Rojo and Jones. We haven't got enough centre-backs. You need 6 centre-backs to do 3. So it's a brand new world, and it's interesting to see how long he's going to stick with it. Ollie couldn't beat Wolves, so I've turned you into them, says Lua Bird. It is a bit like what Wolves do. Yeah, it is. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we've got the match reaction later, and Flex is in Belgrade, so he will be giving his He will be giving his fan cams and everything. We're about to kick off for the second half now. I just want to tell you as well, in relation to subscribers, we are 100 away from 570,000 subscribers. So please do subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner, and that number in the top right hand corner will change to 570. So please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. And we've got fan cams, previews, all sorts of stuff. We've got the Ryan Giggs event tomorrow night as well. The second half's kicked off. And if you have already subscribed, please click the share button and share it on Twitter and Facebook. AA says, Ollie is probably playing the formation because it worked somewhat against Liverpool. Terrible and boring. God, it's painful to watch. I think we might go and win this 2 or 3-0 now, second half. Maybe even 4. Because, United have made a right mistake here. I don't think that's a foul by Phil Jones. I thought Phil Jones got the ball there. Ollie has to leave ASCP. United can play better than that, says Red Devil. Good run by Sadiq there because 2 United players ran into each other. But I think Phil Jones is going to get booked. But I thought he got the ball, to be fair to Phil. And I don't normally stick up for him. Liquid One is the new member. Welcome to the club. He got the ball. He got the ball. Phil Jones got the ball there and he gets booked. And they've got a free kick on the edge of the box. I'm going to stick up for Phil Jones. He got the ball there. It's very unlucky. Very unlucky. Free kick for Partizan Belgrade. Edge of the box. You don't normally see these go in. It's very difficult to get it up and down. Lynn Hall, the formation can work so long as the fullback press up against weaker teams. We're not doing that enough. Well, here's a free kick for Partizan. Silence. They've not took it yet. Tosic is on the free kick. A car is blocking the gate. The reg is just wide. Buster Nuts says a car is blocking the gate. Their reg is NE14ABJ. Oh, you get it off The Simpsons. Rouge kicks. I'm kicking you out for racism. That's racist. We're not having that in the live comments. Phil Jones will give up a goal, says Jeff Griffin. Well, I think United should be going on and winning this comfortably now, to be honest. I don't really expect to see Partizan coming back into this game. They're just not good enough. When is Pogba back, says Legionista? I don't think... I would expect to see Pogba back maybe for Bournemouth. I don't think we'll see him back for Chelsea. That's got to be offside. How is that not offside? Bloody hell, United! They just keep chipping the ball over the top. I don't understand how we're letting them play onside with so many defenders. Pogba's back in January, says Marky. I think he'll be back before that. Paul Robinson says, please call 111 if you find our midfield. It's been missing since August. Well, good little run there. And it's not a penalty. Good job. I think Phil Jones would have been very unfortunate to give a penalty there. I think he was a bit unlucky to have a free kick given against him, to be honest. But Partizan have started the second half quite well. Hey Mark, I think the reason people are saying you're negative is because it hurts to realise how bad we are and we do not want to admit it. Love the content, says Dan. Look, everyone's got their own opinion. And we do read all opinions out. Not every opinion, because I can't read every opinion out, but I do try to pick out the good and the bad. Ian Sharani says, very bad idea playing 5 centre-backs. However, we'll probably switch back to 4 when Pogba comes back. I hope so, Ian. And to be fair to Ollie, and I always want to be fair to Ollie because he is somebody I really like, although I'm not convinced he's going to do that well. If you knew your job was at risk, he's just thought, well, they're shit. I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna make sure they don't score. You know, and then even if I get a draw's not too bad as long as I beat them in Old Trafford. I mean, imagine what we're gonna do to these at Old Trafford, by the way. It's got to be a goal. Oh, Mata crosses it in, and it's just in between Williams and Martial. Carl Williams says, I've had a bad year, but you make me smile. Thank you. We've got a great community, Carl, so I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I don't deserve this football on a fine Thursday evening, says Sev the Panda. To be fair, that's a shit ball from Mata. He's totally unmarked. He should be finding somebody. Foul by McTominay. Be interesting to see if United tire in this second half. They don't. Some of these players we're going to want to play on Sunday, and I don't want to see United having to graft too much. I mean, obviously Mata won't play on Sunday, but maybe Martial, McTominay, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka. They're all players that you would expect to be playing on Sunday. So we don't want to be, busting a gut in this game by any means. Second goal, i.e., would be very nice ASAP. It's gone for a goal kick. Yeah, Tosic was at United. As I remember rightly, I think we had Tosic and Lasic or someone like that. But yeah, never really worked out at United, to be honest. Please subscribe if you're new. I really want us to get us to 570,000 tonight. We're only about 40 away. So if you've not subscribed, bottom right hand corner, click the subscribe button. If you have, click the share button. But Partizan seem to be getting at United a lot at the moment. And they nearly scored there. Lovely little bit of play. Good save by Romero. They're all over us at the moment. They're all over us. Like a bloody rash. And I think what we're trying to do is just hit them on the break. But bloody hell. They're dominating us this first 5 minutes. Absolutely dominating us. We can't get the second goal, says Scott H. Lingard is shit, says Paul Robinson. Still playing with fire, says George O.B. Well, they should be 1-1. He put Maguire on his absolute arse there. I don't know who he is, number 20, but he's coming more and more into the game. He reminds me of a lad who plays for United Stand FC, actually. He's got the same sort of hair and the same sort of playing style. It may well be him. Is it you, Victor Stripes? I'm sure it's not, but he's got that sort of style of playing, but it should be 1-1. It should be 1-1. Mark, can you give a shout out to my friend Lawrence? He's pulling his hair out watching this mess with me, says Sev the Panda. Lawrence, don't pull your hair out. You going now? Yeah. Alright. Is he asleep? Yeah, he's asleep. Alarm on. Wan-Bissaka on the attack here. Good cross. No one near it. Go on or have a shot, lad. Oh, God. Don't know what the defender's doing there. He's just given us a free corner. Gomez is in Manchester, Harsh Maturu. He didn't get selected for the team. What do you think of Leon Bailey, says Luke Endella. I think he's a good player, but I've got to be honest with you, I've not really monitored his career that much over this season, certainly. And I don't know whether he's going to be just one of those players that we sort of thought was going to be good that never actually makes that step up. He does seem to have gone off the boil a little bit this season, but to be honest, I haven't seen him, so I might actually be getting that completely wrong. Foul by Maguire. So 10 minutes gone. Sunday League football, says Natis. Maguire sat down, says the Owl. Look, I do find that sort of thing a little bit funny. You know, like Maguire got skinned on the goal. I do find that, and they're showing it again now. Like, just because you're an £80 million defender doesn't mean you're never going to get beaten. You're never going to get skinned. Like Van Dijk got put on his backside a couple of times on Sunday by Rashford. You know, it will happen every now and again. So, can you close that kitchen door when you go? But that's the world we live in, isn't it? Every mistake is scrutinised. But I think in this second half, Partizan have looked a lot better than they did in the first half. So either we're worse, or they're better. But they're all over us at the moment, to be fair. Well, in Brandon Williams. Zayn Miassi is getting Mark's wife a new Rolex watch, says Cameo 1990. Thanks for that. And another shot by Sadiq, says Vandy Candy. We're a one-half team, says Marky. We're definitely worse. We're not in this second half at the moment, let's be honest. We've started off really bad. I expected us to kick on. Yeah, I expected us to kick on, to be fair, but they've dominated us this second half. Although, you know, what I always say, what do I always say? Phil Jones is shit, but no. What I always say is that fitness will probably come into this in the last half an hour, because the Premier League is going to be a lot fitter than what the Serbian league is. So it'd be interesting to see in the last, sort of from this point, whether that does start to come to pass. I mean, there's a few people saying I want to win. I think if we went on to draw this game, you'd have to say it was a loss. I think even if we win this game, there's going to be a lot of people not particularly happy. Although on paper, it's not a terrible result. As a result, it's not terrible. A draw. Watching this, thinking there was money to spend in the summer, says Jordan Such. We just need to get the second goal. We've got the better players. Get the second goal and get out of Belgrade, as I said in the first half. Lingard. See? Nice little 1-2 there with Lingard and Mata. It's not hard. They're not that good. Do more of that. See, we've gone backwards again to Maguire now. You can't go back to the keeper, Maguire there. You can't. There's Rojo. Just go forward. And that's a ball in behind Jones. And Asana's first touch is bad, which is good for us. Sadiq. I'm Ollie in because I want to play Leeds and Derby, says Erwin Rommel. Well, they might get promoted. We ain't getting relegated. Well done, Jones. Wan-Bissaka keeps it in. Jones wears yellow boots now, Tyler D. Tyler Da. Martial coming deep. That's what she likes. It's the thing is though, there's a clear gap in quality between the players that they've got and the players we've got, but there's absolutely no fluidity from us. I mean, Rashford's coming on now, and hopefully he can get a goal and finish it off, because there is just no fluidity in the way that we attack. Nick Gers from the academy would boss this game, says Trav DDS, and you're blocked, you racist. I know exactly what you were trying to get me to say there. And it's the Yellow Boots, says Vidit Did It 71. And Jones, man of the match, says Peter Eddy. And Wan-Bissaka's come off, which I think is... and Dan James has come on as well. So Ollie's obviously a little bit desperate, isn't he? What does Ollie say at half-time, says Charlie Bass? Go out there and enjoy yourself? So Wan-Bissaka came off. Who else came off there? Because I was too busy looking at Dan James. So Dan James has come on. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's gone off. And I think we have gone to a flat back four. Martial's gone off as well. So Rashford's on. So he has actually finally gone to what he should have done in the bloody from the start. He's gone to a flat back four now. And I think that'll work better for us. So Jones has gone to right back, and we've got rid of the three centre back thing. Is that an admission? I'll keep that for the match reaction. That we should never have done it in the bloody first place. Tosic with the cross, and that's fine. Dan James, okay. Well, the good thing that now we're not playing three centre-backs is I think we'll have more players going forward. Why is Jones still here, says Ziggy. I'd pull Martial off, says Will McCullough. You're probably not in your own. Finally, a back four, says Prince Gerard. And you know, this happens a lot with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He seems to make changes with half an hour, 20 minutes to go, and you suddenly go, that's more like it. When you think about Leicester, when he took Matic off and he brought Fred on, and you know, you start to see these things happening that you want to see. So we might get a nice, interesting half an hour now. I loved your interview with Redmen TV. Very well done, says Christopher Williams. Thanks, pal. I think, you know, most United fans are starting to wander into the world of realism at the moment. Wolves have equalised against Bratislava. That'll be a good point for them. 1-1. Here's Lingard. Into Rashford. Into Lingard, into Rashford, into Mata. Oh, he nearly scored there. Could have worked. It was nearly a good play. Well done, Garner. He's good, that number 20 for Partizan. Good player. I don't know whether it's just we're making him look good, but he likes to get the ball and run. But good little bit of play by Rashford there. And Martial looked off, says Eric. Very rusty. He's very rusty, Martial. You can see the difference between Rashford and Martial there. Rashford's been playing week in, week out all season. Martial's had 8 weeks out. Chongi's in America, Zachary. He's not in America, he's in Manchester, Zachary. So half an hour to go. Is Lingard playing false nine, says Zeri Bleed. He's just playing false. He's playing false footballer, really. To be fair to Lingard, he's not been too bad tonight. I think if he was 18, which apparently he is, you'd say, maybe he's got some potential. But for a 27-year-old senior pro, he doesn't do anywhere near enough. Why can't we just rest Rashford and James, for fuck's sake, says Ryan FTW? Well, I think you make a good point, Ryan. I would have brought one of them on, but I think to bring both of them on when you've got a game like this on Sunday is a little bit risky, because if James or Rashford pull a hamstring, you're like, you're doubling the risk. But what I was going to say is that as we start looking towards hopefully getting the win here in Norwich on Sunday, let's not underestimate the fact that when you're playing away on Thursday in Serbia and then you're playing away against Norwich on Sunday, we've seen it year on year that it's not easy to go and win when you've played in Europa League football. It's not easy to go and win away on Sunday when you've played Europa League football on Thursday night. So it's going to be tough for us. But United are starting to exert their authority now. And I think a lot of this is to do with fitness. I said this happened last night with Ajax. And I think it's going to happen in this game. The fitness of our lads will start to hurt them, Partizan, because they won't have this 90-minute fitness that you get when you're in the Premier League. So Dan James absolutely clattered there. That should actually be a yellow card for the Partizan player because he's left him for dead. Well, I'm just happy he's actually seen the light and taken one of the 3 centre-backs off. Well, he hasn't taken one of the 3 centre-backs off. He's took Wan-Bissaka off and put Jones at right-back. But at least he's done that, because that's what's caused us the problems today. What a run this is by Asano. Really good run. Feeds it wide. And they wanted a handball. They didn't get a handball there. Partizan. Referee said he saw it. He said no handball. Welcome to Peter Bagatorian, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. We've still not hit 570,000 subscribers. We can't be far off. Please do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. And I'll give you a numbers update. We're 30 away. We're only 30 subscribers away from 570,000. So please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. And if you have subscribed, then just click the share button. We're very close. Wolves are winning 2-1, says Sahel Shetty. I don't know what's going on here. Refs seems to want to get a yellow card out, does he? No VAR, is there? Cross comes in. And Romero has it. I think he's going to book a Partizan player there. I think he wanted a handball. Militech gets a yellow card. Militech probably should have had a yellow card for the penalty, so he probably should be sent off. It does hit the hand of Williams, but it's not. It would be very harsh to give a penalty for that, I think. He heads it down onto his hand, and there's literally half a metre between the head and his hand, so it's not a penalty. Tom says this is sackable. It's not sackable to... you don't get sacks for drawing, mate, let alone when you actually win. Peter Bagatorian, thank you for the contribution. Should be Martial Rashford up front, says Sheden Nia. I think that's what he's working towards. I think it will be Rashford and Martial. We're playing a member of the Cheese family, says Matov Darlo. Would I like to see Garner start on Sunday, says Kenneth? No. I don't think he's ready for that. I think this is just a brilliant first game for him to play. Brilliant in his development. And the same for Williams. I don't think we should be pushing them to be starting games. I think we all made that mistake. And I'll put my hand up and say I did it as well, where we were like, Gomez has got to play. And then we've seen them play. And it's like, they're young lads. You know, you've got to nurture them. And... you can't just chuck them into the deep end. So I still think Scott McTominay's got a lot to learn. I still think he's very inconsistent, but he's obviously ready to start games. But I think he's very inconsistent, and he's 23 in December. So you know, Garner's only just 18. So we've got to be patient and nurture these players. I think Pucky's shit, Pierre, by the way. I think he's one of the most overrated players. Just because he's got a really good card on FIFA and he scored a hat-trick in the first few games of the season, I think Pucky's shit. I think he's well overrated. And I don't expect him to do anything against United on Sunday. It's just that he's overhyped. And a lot of it's because he's good on FIFA. corner. I think Partizan this half have been the better team by a long, long way. Takumi Minamana, right back, Salzburg thoughts, says Christopher Williams. I've not watched I've not watched any German football this season. I've watched Bayern Munich in the Champions League against Spurs, and they were brilliant. I've not watched any Bundesliga this year. So there we go. A few people think there might be an equaliser coming. I'd say on the balance of play, they're not far off it, but I'd still be very surprised if they did score. We just seem to have absolutely run out of ideas this second half. Poor. They are resorting to shooting from distance, which is quite a good sign. Really think it's our midfield that fails to link the ball between the defence and the striker, says Kyle Ainsley. Let's hope United buy to fix this. I can see United getting the second goal on the break, to be honest. We've not played very well, but we have got the sort of quality that I think that's what Ollie's trying to do, is just get that second goal and get it won. A free kick here to United. Greg Jones says get Jones off before he gets sent off. Well, he is on a yellow. 20 minutes to go. Would you take Malcolm at United, says Luke Endolo. Yes and no. Yes, because he's better than everything we've got, but no, because I'm not convinced that flops from bigger clubs are what we need to go down. So yes and no, but surely there's better than that we can go and get. Peter Bagatorian says, hi Mark, why do you think we always start the second half slow? It's hard to watch. I don't know. For some reason, I think we're just such a bad second half team. We really are such a bad team, second half team. And I don't really have the answer. And Asana did have Jones on toast there, but he overruns it. I mean, to be fair to Phil Jones, he's probably like, oh my God, I'm not a right back. Why am I being used as a scapegoat here? But I think that, no, going back to that second half point, it's valid. It's a valid point. And I would say you've got to put it down to the coaching, haven't you? Because the second half, I've heard people like Mourinho say this and Sir Alex Ferguson say it in different ways, that, you know, the half time is basically your chance within a game to have another team talk, have another tactical, you know, to get at your players. And I know for a fact that the players love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I know the fact that the players don't want him to be sacked and they want to play for him. But clearly there is an issue in relation to the players and the manager. And I don't want to pin it on anybody, but the message is not getting across. If you think about Wolves away, 1-0 up, we don't win the game. Southampton away, 1-0 up, we don't win the game. Liverpool at home, 1-0 up, we don't win the game. You know, and then even some of the games that we have gone on to win, second half, very, very poor. This one's another one. So, yeah, there is an issue. Nicola says that the ref is all red tonight. Well, good. I'm not bloody complaining. But to be fair, I don't think there's been a clear-cut penalty, if that's what you're trying to get at. I think Partizan would have been lucky to get a penalty. That's too easy, though. That ball into Sadiq is way too easy. And he's gone past Rojo. And he's gone nowhere anyway, so that's fine. Oh, good bit of play there between the number 20 and Sadiq, and he shoots wide. And they'll probably be getting to the point now, Partizan, where they'll be thinking, how have we not got something out of this game? And, you know, I'm really apologetic to say this now, but, and I know this happens in Italy and everything like that, but I was not expecting to see a club that's had to play behind closed doors for racism. I was not expecting them to have, like, black players in their team. And I've only just twigged that there are a number of black players in the Partizan Belgrade team. So you know, and I know that still happens. I know that, you know, in Russia and Italy, there's been fans of clubs who've got black players in their team and they still go in on the black players of other clubs. But luckily, we've not had anything like that tonight. Fergie's Manchester United scored most goals right after half-time, says Christian Douglas. Partizan have been the better team second half. Cannot move away from that fact, I'm afraid. Tosic has just come off. $75 minutes gone, 15 minutes to go. SH, you're going to go. Oh, I had this last time. I think you've probably just created a new account to do it. And I think you did it on That's Football, actually. Hello, mate. Forgotten how crap Rojo and Jones were. Jesus Christ, why do they have shirts? Says David Mills. And Scrappy Red Devil says that striker's going to score a goal. I can see it. I think we'll get over the line. I've been wrong in the past, but I think we'll get over the line. And can I just say something? Low key, does Scott McTominay do enough in the midfield? I know we all like him, but does he do enough with the ball in the midfield for a team that wants to get in the top four? And the answer's no. He puts in a great shift. He really cares about the club. He's got great energy levels. But does he do enough in that midfield? And the answer is no. None of them do. Mata, Lingard, McTominay. I mean, Garner can be excused because it's his bloody debut. But Lingard, Mata, McTominay, I don't think they don't do enough on the ball. Our midfield gets bypassed by the opposition too easy. And we don't create enough. I mean, in this game, how many chances have we created in this second half? I can't think of a shot on goal in the second half. Correct me if I'm wrong. McTominay's better than Henderson, says Jamie. I wouldn't mind a drink tonight as well. Would this performance beat Norwich on Sunday, says Jordan Such? I don't know. I think that's always very difficult. You can't say we're going to lose to Norwich because we've been shit tonight, because you know, most football teams are like a chameleon. They react to their surroundings. Like, you know, if we played like this tonight, if we'd played like this on Sunday, then Liverpool would have battered us, wouldn't they? So, you know, but we adapted to that opposition in that game. So I don't agree with that. But here's the Japanese fella up against Phil Jones. Garner's got a funny running style. Look at him. He's done well there. Guys, there's 1.3 likes and 13k watching. Let's go hit the like button and see what we get to for boredom experimental purposes, says Hey Damn. It's got that bad, has it? Yeah, smash a like, everyone. Let's see how many we can get. But Sadiq's on the attack here. Cross shot. Dan. Phil Jones does really well there to get ahead of Asana. He did do well because that's flying in across the 6-yard box, and you felt for a moment that would fly in off Phil Jones's head. The midfield has been skipped when we build attacks, says Joskian Alexander. Freddie Mercury says this is disgusting football. I think, as I said in the first half, let's get the 3 points and get out. Ollie's going to be over the moon, isn't he? He'll absolutely be over the moon with this. And we've cleared the corner. Haru, hurry, haru, hurry. I was just stretching out my back, people. Don't worry, I'm still here. I just think ultimately we're quite fortunate that they're not a very good team, because I think playing like this against a half decent team, I think if you know, going back to that case in point, I think if you did play like this against Norwich, you would get beat because they'd have better quality players. But I think we've been fortunate that we've been dominated in this second half, and we just haven't had they just haven't had the quality. And that's been to our benefit, because of the amount of opportunities they've had in the final third. Especially when you think about the time that the number 20 put Harry Maguire on his backside. He should have finished that. Player ratings is going to be interesting in my match reaction anyway. Oh, that's gone for a goal kick. Garner with the mistake, which we will let him off because that's the whole point of letting people like that off, isn't it? He's a young lad. Whoa! Oh! So we've got about 10 minutes to go. Can United just get a second goal and make it look like it was more comfortable than it was? Again, they're just picking this ball. I think our centre-backs have been atrocious, you know. The amount of times they've just knocked the ball into their striker and he's been able to get it and turn. It's been shocking. I mean, I've got to make that. The ball into striker. I've not seen that for a long time in football. The amount of time they've knocked a long pass forward and their striker's just been able to control it and turn is amazing, really. Yeah. You know what I mean? Pereira's coming on. So a bit of fresh legs for United. Garner goes off, so a little bit of experience there. He's done his job. Good performance by him, I think. For a young lad to go into a game like that, especially this second half, it's been a very difficult half to be involved in, so I think he's done well. Don't know what you lot think. Brandon's given his all as well. A few people there saying that. Like watching paint dry. You have hell of a job finding any positive second half, says Jenks 110. It's been bad. It's been bad. Has it been as bad? Has it been bad? So bad that you'd say we don't deserve to get a win? I don't know. Amadou says, yes, it has been that bad. Well, there you go. There you go. Corner for Partizan. Good save, Romero. What a save. What a save from Asano. Header. Romero has kept us in the game. What a save. It's been a shocking half, though. Let's be honest. It's embarrassing, but you don't get sacked or criticism. Well, you should get criticism, but you don't really tend to get it off a draw. But it's not been good enough by United, not by a long way. But it should be good enough to get us a win. At this late stage, I'd be very surprised if United were to blow it. But, you know, surprise me, United. You seem to be quite good at that. I'm surprised we haven't seen Greenwood come on, though. That's a little bit disappointing, isn't it? Not to get Greenwood on. So about 7 minutes left of time. Now, I can't see how we have not managed to get a goal second half. I don't think we've even had a shot second half that I can think of, and I think that's shocking. You know, because the goal that we've won it with is a penalty. Let's not forget, it's a bloody penalty. So it's embarrassingly bad. But I don't know. I think some people would just say, well, you know, shut up. Some people just like telling me to shut up. But some people would say shut up because it's a win. But at what point, after 6 years, I suppose, do you just say, well, no, enough is enough? It's not. It actually isn't enough now to say that that's acceptable. I don't know. It's hard. It's definitely hard. Got some super chats coming in. Mr. Blandalone says, makes you wonder how long it will take for these performances will start to affect the bottom line. Feel like we won't see a change until then. Rich says, this match has been terrible. Ollie was a class player. He's an awful manager. Why anyone can support this dross is beyond me. We've had 6 months of this. Karsh says, we haven't scored more than 1 goal since against Chelsea, and that's what the main problem is, I feel. And 2007, Mark, deep down in your heart, I think you know that Ollie will not be able to turn this around and that he isn't the right man. Ollie is inept, to be honest. They've just shot over the bar. I think he's going to get 3 points today. I mean, that's why I'm asking the question. Do you think that 3 points today is enough? It will get us out the group. I think this is a significant win with regards to that. I mean, no shots second half. I'm just taking a few notes for this. I can't think of a shot on goal second half, and I think that's abysmal. And you know what? You shouldn't be winning games, and that's a terrible ball there by Pereira. You shouldn't be winning games of football and, you know, thinking about being manager out. That's not the way it should be working. But I think that it is starting to go that way for Solskjaer now, isn't it? There is starting to be people who are thinking, well, you know what? I'm not having this. Well, it's not for us to have anyway, is it? We're not in charge of that. But I think the thing that's disappointing is that, are we just a team now that goes and grinds out shit results? Because they're not that good. I stand by this. They are not that good, this opposition. And to only beat them 1-0, like we only beat Astana 1-0, you know, they are 3-pointers and they will get us out the group, but you should be doing better than that, without a shadow of a doubt. And unfortunately, we don't seem to be able to do it. And look, I don't listen to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's after-match reactions, because whether we draw or lose or win, he's massively not like Mourinho, but he's just massively positive about something, when sometimes you don't want that positivity. You want a bit of realism. And I just think that statistically today, I'd love to have a quick look actually before we do the match reaction, just how many shots on goal we've had today, because I would suspect it's been awful. I mean, let's have a quick look at that. BBC Football. Manchester United. Here we go. 86 minutes gone. Yeah, that's the right. A cross comes in there. There's only a couple of minutes to go now. I mean, here we go. We've got a chance here on the break. Maybe we can nick something on the break here. Well, there's going to be a foul and a yellow card there. So United won't be getting a second goal. But I can tell you, in relation to shots on goal, let me have a quick look here. Stats. 5 shots on goal to their 16. 1 shot on target. That is fucking hell. That is beyond terrible. It really is. It's just embarrassing. Against a team that's really bad as well. It's embarrassing, people. It really is. I'm absolutely stunned by that. They've had 16 shots on goal to our 5, of which we've only had 1 on target, which, as we all know, was a penalty. And they've nearly another good cross there. I don't like saying this, but I think they thoroughly deserve a point, Partizan, and it's really going to be a park the bus performance where we nick it. Mark, what's our best 11? Who do you play week in, week out? Says Akshay Sood. I don't know, mate. I mean, obviously Pogba comes back into the team and Martial plays, but 3 minutes added on. They're in the box. Cross comes in. Good defensive header by Maguire, but they're still in the box. Cross comes in again. Romero punches at it. They're still in the box. Just get this game over, lads. It's been embarrassing enough. And now Rashford's got it, and we should get rid of it. Just pass it. Why is Rashford not passing it there? He had this is Rashford all over for you. He had passes to Lingard and James to put them through one-on-one, and he does not get his bloody head up again. Final ball of Rashford is shocking. I mean, I know it's not going to matter and we're going to win 1-0 anyway, but I'm not joking. He had a simple pass there and he just cannot get his bloody head up. That is terrible. And that just sums up the game for United. So bad. There will be a match reaction. Links in the video description straight after. I've gone very pale. I think my graphics card's just has died on me a little bit. It's not United that's caused it. Only a minute to go now. Williams has been very impressive, Shreshit. I've been thinking about who my man of the match would be because, I mean, look, I'm going to say what I want to say, but tell you what, I'm not going to stay quiet about people like Juan Mata. I mean, for God's sake, he does a lot of good things in football, but Jesus Christ, has he been shit again tonight? I mean, absolutely invisible. This is going to be the end of the game anyway. Pereira, we're actually on the attack now. Dan James into the box. Mata. Well, maybe there's one more tack here for Partizan. He went the wrong way, that Sadiq there. I think we're going to see it out. 10 seconds to go. And he's blown it early again. He hasn't even played the full 3 minutes. Odd, very odd referee, but United win it. Dawa Mushtaq says, Mark, we don't deserve to win. I wouldn't even say a draw is deserving. They deserve to win. As bad as it sounds, it's the truth. We scored on a freaking penalty. It's embarrassing. No chemistry. Well, look, thanks everyone for watching. Links in the video description. Match reaction. My honest reactions incoming. And I'm not going to stay quiet. Sometimes a win is an embarrassment. And I think tonight that was. And the stats back it up. But so do our eyes. Link in the video description. I'll be live in 60 seconds. Thanks for watching.